Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Camp Hustle One here. I'm back with another video. How you guys doing, man? Saturday night, man. We have made it to another one, and it is totally cold outside, man. I think last time I checked, it was about 17 degrees outside, and we got a little bit of snow, some ice on the ground. So yeah, it was crazy outside, and yeah, I'm just glad I made it home safe, and hope you guys are all nice and cozy. So I do have some topics for tonight. First topic we're going to talk about is Sha'Carri Richardson not taking accountability for her speeding. So let's jump to that first story here. All right, so this is the this is going to be the, I believe, the police cam footage. So let's check it out. We'll watch the first thing. We'll watch it all the way through first, and then we'll go back and do commentary. It's a short clip here.
You're flashing them to get out of your way, are you? Let's give you a path to get past them. See what you do. $100, $101, passing a car at $101, $103, $104. Caddy motor 50, copy 1050. Gonna be 429 northbound at Stony Brook for a tag. On a gray Aston Martin and an occupants. I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous, excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous, excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
So I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone was sitting here and it slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
Nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not intentionally speeding at all.
That's even more scary.
Sir,
that means that you're doing things unintentionally on a task that requires all your attention.
Sir, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
My tire, sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car,
Sir, Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car.
No,
Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want to.
All right, so make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
Massive day for the unemployed.
That was the entire footage. So let's go back. We're gonna watch the whole thing, and I'm gonna have commentary now.
Flashing them to get out of your
I think you guys already kind of know what I'm about to say about this, just in terms of accountability, female accountability, and entitlement. Even the fact some of you guys might not know who Sha'Carri Richardson is. She's an Olympic gold medalist, and she's actually been in the news for various things in terms of, like, I think she beat up her boyfriend in the airport or something like that. She was caught with marijuana in her system, and that was another thing that was kind of it just made headlines and stuff. Everybody was talking about it, and it's kind of wild. Coke Benny, welcome to the stream, sir. Sup, Camp? Good to see you, man. So it's one thing that she's getting pulled over, and she's talking like a mile a minute, and the cop immediately, as soon as he walks up to the car, he's saying, like, there's nothing you can say, you're going to jail and stuff, which is kind of wild because, typically the cop will, ask you, like, hey, do you know why I pulled you over? And there was really none of that kind of conversation. He just went straight to the passenger side, which, is kind of risky for a cop. I would think, they would want to come on the driver's side, but, I don't know. It just seemed like the way he was leaning into the car and everything, it just seemed like he had already made up his mind, like, before he even walked up to her and said, hey, like, this is what we're doing. You're going to jail for, unlawfully speeding and being reckless and stuff. And then she just kept talking about how her tire was low, and I don't know. Let's just watch it again. Tea Toast with Ghost, welcome to the stream, sir. Hey, Camp, good to see you, man. Welcome. So yeah, let's go through this. We're gonna now take it through bit by bit, and you guys are more than welcome to chime in.
Where are you? Let's give you a path to get past them. See what you do.
So he's already talking to himself about this. Like he's already, I guess, clocked the Aston Martin already. I'm sure that police have the ability to run plates and see who the car belongs to. He probably recognized her name, and he's just like, oh, perfect. This is going to probably make the news. So this is going to be a good pullover. You ever want to cut off a cop, man? Come on now. You stay like 2 lanes over from the cop so the cop doesn't have any idea about you. That was her first mistake.
100, 101, passing a car at 101, 103, 104. County motor 50, copy 50.
Only 104 is insane. Like, I would understand if there was like no cars on the interstate and no cops on there too, but like 104, that's excessive,
429 northbound at Stony Brook for a tag on a gray Aston Martin and an occupants.
I'm guessing this took place in Orange County, California. I believe that's what he says later. Wait, did that say, hold on. Did that say Miami Circle? That sign? Hold on, let me double check. Oh, it says Miami. Miami, West Colonial Drive. I don't know. Maybe it's in Miami. I'm not 100%. It's funny because I hear like women saying how they like talk their way out of tickets and stuff. They flirt a little bit with the cop and everything. And, if anything, they'll get like a warning, but she just was not, the juice wasn't working for her this time.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant
understand.
McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're
Yes,
being
sir.
stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving.
So your tire's on 29, which means that, you know, that's not like that bad in terms of, you know, because I think most tires can be at like 33, 36 or something like that. I've had my tires on like 19, but I'm not like speeding on it, you know. Typically I'm trying to like drive it, you know, nice and carefully, maybe in the slow lane so that, you know, my tire doesn't warp and break and stuff. But I don't know if this is true or not with her whole tire thing. I think it's just an excuse. But this is another thing where, like, if you're getting pulled over, you have to know when to speak and when to shut up. She's talking way too much here.
Driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
So you're going to jail. He says that like, what, 2 minutes into this whole video, and she just continues to like plead her case and all this stuff. Like, I think once a cop says that, it's just like, dude, you got nothing, man. You got nothing to say. There's really nothing you can say. So it's just like, you might as well just stay quiet.
So sorry, I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand.
And I don't know if she's in a hands-free state in terms of like, you know, cell phone usage and everything. Like most people are like, yeah, you're supposed to have your phone either like stowed away or on a little phone holder or something like that. But you shouldn't have your phone just resting there, you know, in the center console so that, you know, it's moving all around and stuff. That's not safe either.
I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my
well, okay, so I'm not gonna say she isn't fully accountable. She did admit that she was speeding here.
things right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I'm communicating.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me.
Law-abiding citizen? It's like it's too late to try to claim this now.
Even today,
He already read out everything that you had done wrong already.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show support.
No, like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir.
Yeah, you can't beg, man. Like, begging is just going to make it worse. You know, and saying, oh, can you work with me? Like, that's almost like, hey, can you take a bribe or can you let me off with a warning or something? Like a ticket, whatever, I'll come to court. And it's just like, dude, he's already said he's already made up his mind already. It's like he's probably already run the tags already. He probably knows who you are. He sees the car. He's just like, dude, we're going to impound this and we're going to get our money, dude.
If nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary. That means that you're doing things unintentionally on a task that requires all your attention.
Sir, please, I'm begging you.
Dude, I could never be a cop, man, because it's just like after you've already said everything, you've laid everything out, and you're like, look, there's nothing. You know, like he should have told her to turn off the car, because that's one thing that, you know, it's kind of like automatic, and it's another thing that the way he approached the car, it's all kind of wrong to me. Like I'm used to cops approaching on the driver's side. You usually have to turn off the car. You know, you have to have your hands, you know, where they can see you and stuff like that. But this is like a very relaxed, like pullover, you know, like I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure that he's, you know, probably trying to see if there's any other types of probable cause, if the car smells like marijuana, you know, or anything like that, or if he's looking for any paraphernalia. I think he does find paraphernalia. It's not in this clip, but in my research of doing this, her boyfriend shows up and tries to defend her, and he ends up getting arrested too. So it's a really crazy fiasco.
I'm going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I will do everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
I will do everything. What does that mean? I'll do anything?
My tire, sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first,
I'm sorry. I don't have like sympathy for a person who's driving like an Aston Martin talking about your tire. It's like, come on now, you got the money to take care of that.
first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car. Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything. So I was not intentionally doing anything. And I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening.
Yeah.
Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want to.
So make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
So it's kind of wild to me, man. Like the entitlement that, oh, I can just tell him like, oh, it's, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I didn't intentionally mean to do that. Let's go. I have a follow-up for this one. Give me 1 second. I gotta remember where I saw it, because it was talking about Sha'Carri, and then her boyfriend basically came up and he got arrested too. Yeah, this is it right here.
I would wipe that smile off your face.
There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I
We've already
was
seen this.
I was chosen.
No, like I told you,
She's known as one of the fastest women in the world, but unfortunately she is constantly in the news for stuff that is not related to the sport that she's in or any accolades, right? We covered the story recently in which she was arrested for an altercation that she had with her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, who was also a track star at an airport.
Oh, okay.
But I had to.
Yeah, so this is the fight they were doing in the airport. And like if a woman hits a guy in a public place like this, if she hits him once, it's kind of acceptable, but she just didn't stop, and that's when the police had to intervene, and that's how this happened.
I'm so sorry. You're grabbing me right now.
Oh, please, Cam.
I'm
If
under
that had
arrest
been
right
his
now. What am I?
dude, they would have wrecked him.
Oh, you're talking about what's up, Ghost? How you doing, sir? Are you talking about the pullover where she's pulled over on the side of the road?
No. I can tell you right now that cop was very pissed off.
Well, yeah.
About the whole speeding.
No, he was like, he kind of already made his mind up. Like, look, this is a wrap, okay? Like, just make your phone calls and stuff like that, and then I can get to my paperwork and we get this car impounded and all that stuff. He's just like, dude, this is like, you can't. There was nothing that she said that convinced him otherwise. He's like, no, this is it. You go to jail.
He caught her doing 102 in a 30 zone?
I think she was on the interstate. So I think she was going I think it was supposed to be maybe like a 60, maybe 70 at the most. So, I mean, 30 miles over is I mean, they'll give you a ticket if you're like 15 miles over, typically. So,
I
mean, it depends. It depends on where you are.
5 over. Yeah. Legally, they can give you 5 over, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, because typically the judge will throw that out.
Well, not only will the judge throw it out, for anyone here who actually doesn't know, who doesn't have any automotive technician training, I hate to break this to everybody, but your speedometers are off by anywhere from 1 to 2 to 5 miles.
Okay. But
Only
not 30
police-
miles.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you have, Cam, even if you take that, 5 mile per hour, buffer, they're still doing it bare minimum 25 over.
Yeah, I mean, and especially out here in Georgia, man, nobody drives the speed limit, man. Everybody's over by about 20 miles. It's funny because, like, the saying is, on 85, you go 85.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's somewhat similar around here.
Mm-hmm.
When everything here was 65, everybody was doing 70. Now that the highways and freeways are 70, everyone's is doing 75.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get more out in the boonies or further from the city, you go from 70 to 80.
Yeah. And you know what? The cops were out tonight, they were on every corner, it seemed like, from where I was driving home. And, because it was iced out and, pretty, snowy patches and stuff. And, people, I mean, nobody wanted to speed. Everybody was driving like your grandma, man. So I was just like, I gotta get home, dude.
Reminds me of California. It rains there, and everyone's driving like it's black ice everywhere. I remember driving onto my base, and I'm passing people who are like, "Oh, were so scared. And then I walked in, and my sergeant was like, what the heck? Because he was texting everybody, it's okay to be late. And I would just walk in like it's nothing. And they're like, what? They kind of give me that look of like, what the heck? And it's like, where I'm from, I'm used to ice and snow. Rain?
Do you have all-wheel drive?
Well, that was when I had my first vehicle, and that thing actually could handle ice and snow. The car I drive right now, not so much.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's jump back into this this video here, because I at least want to see like because I only read about this, but I didn't actually see the actual footage. So let's check it out. I want to see what this is all about.
What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now? Okay.
You're under arrest for assault 14.
I didn't assault him though.
She already get cuffs?
I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now?
They're putting on the gloves. You know what that means.
In that situation,
she's acting very aggressive.
And also, I do believe that they found drug paraphernalia on them during this arrest as well, the one in the airport. So just, I mean, goes to show, man, it's like, come on now. It's like, you got to learn your lesson at some point, you know? But I don't know.
I mean, they do realize that if they get on a plane and cross interstate boundaries, they can get federal charges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if they did the research, you know, in terms, I mean, maybe they were just staying, you know, in the continental United States. But yeah, flying international, dude, like, that's got to go through customs and everything, man. I would not want to have to deal with that.
No.
it was shown,
Well, no,
you know,
if you break the law and you cross state lines, technically speaking, the Department of Justice can prosecute your case at the federal district court level if they so desire.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get caught up in that.
over and over again that, you know, Christian, her boyfriend at the time, was trying to protect her. He was trying to, you know, make the situation so that she would not be arrested or have to go to jail for it.
So now we're just sitting in the airport. So you guys having just a rough.
If I reshare it, let me see if I do that. Go to stop streaming. Okay, let's try this again. Such a boomer, dude. I'm trying to find this thing. Where is it? Oh, okay. Okay. Let me know if you can hear the audio now.
Got heated. Did you lay hands on her?
Now I can.
Okay,
I was acting like this. She didn't lay hands on you? Yeah, sure. No pushing, no hitting, nothing like none of that. Just verbal. I didn't need her to heat extremity, like just she.
But ultimately, when they played back the tape, although both parties were saying that it had never gotten physical, the tape, you know, clearly and blatantly showed that she did, in actuality, put her hands on him.
Big push.
No. First time was
Now,
a punch.
I made
Then
my
she
stance
shoved him.
clear over and over again when it comes to anybody.
But that's the thing, man. It's like, if she had just shoved him one time or pushed him one time, I think it would have been like, okay, you know? It's just a matter that she just kept pressing, and there was just, you know, and I guess more people, you know, saw it and reported it and stuff like that. But it's just like, dude, you got to learn, you're in a public place, man. You got to learn how to conduct yourself, man.
Putting their hands on anybody, I do not agree with it. Right? I do not agree with anybody putting their hands on anyone, whether it's a woman to a man or a man to a woman. But we have to talk about the hypocrisy that
is a load of crap.
I mean, it's a double standard, right? You know, if the man pushed her once, I mean, it would have been crazy, right? But for a woman can get away with a lot, dude. You know, but that's just kind of how the way the world is. And, you know, I think that type of entitlement was kind of what was probably going through her mind when she was getting pulled over. She's like, oh, I can just, you know, let him know, like, hopefully he'll have some empathy or whatever, and, you know, let me off with a warning and stuff. But it's just like, no, man, it's like, you were endangering other people's lives, you know? Could have been a whole lot worse. And then she'd even try to take accountability for it. She's like, I didn't even know I was speeding. You know, the car was in this different mode or whatever, because my phone like hit something in the car or whatever. And it's like, you're digging yourself a hole. You know, you're not making your case any better. So I think, one thing about, not being able to take accountability and also just not knowing when to shut up, because the more she said, the worse things got, if she had just shut up, I think she would have been all right. I mean, no, I think she would have still gone to jail. Well, I mean, the act still happened. So, but I think her talking, and trying to like weasel out of it and stuff made it a whole lot worse.
Well, I mean, it depends on the officer too.
No, absolutely.
If she's driving aggressively on a freeway, no officer is going to have sympathy there.
Mm-mm.
Because high speed impacts, that tends to kill the most people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ask any cop who has to go to the DUI scenes where they find the driver doing over 100 and, everything that happens afterwards. There are cops who get really pissed off about it, especially when, let's say, like a family dies and then the drunk driver's just at the hospital and he's got a couple, maybe he's got a broken bone.
Oh yeah,
or he just bruised or beat up a little bit.
It's always the person that caused the accident that gets the least amount of damage to their car and also to themselves, mostly.
Yeah. So a lot of officers who've been on those really bad DUI scenes, they have zero sympathy for anyone doing over 100.
I think also, she was driving an Aston Martin as well. I mean, that's a very high ticket car as well. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors working against her in this.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, do police want to pull over someone who looks like they're broke? I mean, imagine some dude speeding down a highway driving a 1980s Ford Pinto, for Pete's sake. Cops gotta look at that and be like, how's this thing even running?
And, it's probably not worth it, but no, I mean, I think, a charge is still a charge. If you cut off a cop, trying to speed and stuff like that, and he clocks you going over 100 miles per hour, I mean, yeah, I think anybody's going to suffer that pullover, but I think the fact is that she tried to talk her way out of it. She was driving a really nice car, and she wasn't taking accountability, and she was just talking. I was like, just stop talking. That was the first thing I was thinking when I was watching that clip. I was like, God, if she would just shut up, and just let the guy talk. And, but that's the thing. I would probably lump Sha'Carri Richardson in like this whole modern woman, like boss babe. I'm kind of like, she kind of has to be like this tough exterior person, that has to, always fight, And I mean, you see how she is with her boyfriend right now. They were just getting in a regular argument. Well, when people argue, they just argue with their voices and stuff. But she had to make it all physical and stuff. So I don't know, man. I think it all boils down to the individual personality of the person. And I mean, she also has a record of this aggressiveness too. And with that, and you mix in the drugs with it, it's a recipe for disaster, man. So. But
normally when you involve drugs with anything, it does tend to have the recipe of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Shown on a consistent basis, because when Sha'Carri did that in the airport, there were women who were flocking in support of her, talking about, oh, all it was a little push. It wasn't that serious. Oh, they lucky it wasn't me because I would have done worse. And it's like, if you're going to take a stance on one side, you have to take that stance across the board. Then, a lot of people are reminded of the fact that in 2021 that she failed, her testing before her race, in regard.
Yeah, she tested positive for marijuana, I believe. And I think there might have been other type of drugs as well, maybe like performing enhancer kind of drugs. But I think that's pretty much the major one was the marijuana, though.
Regards to there being a substance, it happened to be cannabis that was in her blood at the time, and she was disqualified. And I believe at the time she was banned from the Olympics.
Sha'Carri Richardson was banned from Tokyo after testing positive for cannabis.
Now, she mentioned after the fact that it was, she was using it as a coping mechanism after her mother passed away. And while that is a...
Oh, poor me. Here we go.
Start playing the sad music, Cam.
This is what I'm trying to understand. It's like, okay, so we all cope, right? But when you understand that you're competing with other people and stuff, like, they're going to test you, right? They're going to test you for all types of steroid use, you know, if you're doing any type of performance enhancers and stuff like that. And, you know, of course, it's going to come up in the blood. So, I don't know, man. It's like, she wasn't thinking, you know? And it could have been, she could have been, I mean, she was in, what, Japan? Or Tokyo, whatever, for this?
Yeah,
that could have been, like, serious charges for her, you know?
Oh yeah,
So
I mean, Japan has their legal system is pretty harsh.
yeah,
And Singapore, from what I understand, is that if they catch you with it, not if they test you, if they catch you with it, they might just give you a caning right there on the side of the street.
and that's when they hit you with bamboo sticks, right?
I don't know which it is, but I do know that most canings are done with I mean, in some places I know they do bamboo sticks. In other places, they'll have like a softwood stick.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep doing worse, they might actually bring out a hardwood stick.
No, because I know bamboo
depends.
will take off chunks of skin if you get hit hard enough with it. That's that's why it's like you don't want to get caned with a bamboo stick. But yeah, let's keep going.
Reason for people to understand, her point of view or what she was going through at the time, or attempt to understand what she was going through at the time. That does not change the fact that it was illegal, in the sport. Hence why she was banned for it. And, she went on, the news and stuff like that. She spoke out. She said her piece.
What happened? What led up to this positive test?
Just honestly,
Oh shit! Did you hear it? I don't know if this is a wig or not, but I did. I'm gonna rewind it back because I know I heard that, and that, you know what? I know some people might think that, oh, that was on your stream deck. That was not my stream deck. Okay. As soon as she comes on the screen, you hear the fire alarm, the smoke detector. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna play it back. Let's listen real quick.
Now, she mentioned after the fact that it was, she was using it as a coping mechanism after her mother passed away. And while that is a reason for people to understand, her point of view or what she was going through at the time, or attempt to understand what she was going through at the time, that does not change the fact that it was illegal, in the sport. Hence why she was banned for it. And, she went on, the news and stuff like that. She spoke out. She said her piece.
What happened? What led up to this positive test?
Just honestly, I want to say
Oh my God.
Chirp. Chirp. I told you, man. That was perfect too, because it was right in the middle of her speaking and you hear the chirp. I was like, ah, damn it. Loud as hell.
What the heck?
Too funny.
Jeez, when I was like 15, the smoke detector near my mother's room just kept chirping. I got so pissed off at it. I grabbed a chair, dragged it up the stairs, got it off, realized that the damn thing had some sort of hard wiring in it, and I just unwired it, just put it in her room, and just went back to bed. I was so pissed.
And it never chirped again, huh?
No.
Well, that's the thing, man. It's like after this thing chirps for so long, like people are like, oh, I don't even hear it anymore. It's like, well, maybe you should do something with your life, man. Like, what the hell? What is it, like a C battery or a D battery to change those things?
It's a 9-volt.
9-volt? Yeah, I knew it was one of those things. So it's like, come on, man. It's like, how much do those things really cost? You go get a cheap one, you know? Decoder XB. Welcome to the stream. You guys never tried bamboo? No, I never tried bamboo. You ever tried bamboo? Hell no.
Like eating bamboo?
I don't know if he means it like that. I don't know if he means tried like bamboo. Like, I don't know. Maybe if he meant tried getting hit by bamboo. I mean, the way it does sound, the way you phrase that, it must be like you were eating bamboo. I've never tried bamboo. No.
I've tried bamboo before. It's really sweet.
I mean, I've tried sugar cane, but I haven't tried bamboo.
No, I've had bamboo. I've chewed on it.
Okay.
Although I think I was eating it wrong. I think you were supposed to swallow the pulp, and I didn't.
Okay. Ricky Dolphin, welcome to the stream. Hey, glad I catch you guys live, man. Man, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is you know, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. It was a slow week, okay? Because everybody was trying to catch up to that whole story that I covered last week and everything, so there was really nothing for me to talk about. I do have like 3 topics that we're talking about. This first one, Sha'Carri Richardson, and then the next 2 stories, whatever. But that's why I'm like, dude, it's going to be kind of a light, might be an early show tonight. I don't know. We're just going to kind of play it by ear. But these were like the main things that came out to me. And the last story we're going to talk about is something I've been meaning to talk about in terms of like somebody I've been meaning to cover on this channel. So, but yeah, let's keep going, man. Dude, the caterpillar eyebrows, the dyed hair. This is just, I mean, this screams Atlanta. I don't think she's from Atlanta, but I don't know. I don't know where she's from. Maybe somebody in the chat can find out. But
I think she's wearing a wig, to be perfectly honest.
you know, you're right. It could be a rig. Could be definitely, because you know that's a lot of things. They have it now where like you just put your hair up in a little like pantyhose thing and then you just cover it with a wig. So that could be. Could be. But yeah, those caterpillar eyebrows, dude, that screams Atlanta, man. You see that everywhere out here. So it's like girls don't even do it for guys. They do it for other girls and stuff. And it's so wild. That and the raptor claws. I know you've seen that.
Yeah.
I know what I did. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm allowed not to do, and I still made that decision. But
And once again, you know, she was supported. People were like, "Oh, it's just a little, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. Oh, so what? People do it every day." You know, if anything, it would probably slow her down. I doubt it would make her faster. Like a lot of people were caping in that way. You know, because of their support for her or their love for her in the sport.
Yeah, blind loyalty, making excuses for people, saying it's not that big of a deal. You know, I mean, I think you kind of have to divorce yourself from these type of, you know, biased feelings, you know, and realize that it's wrong to do drugs if you're going to be competing against other people, you know, in terms of keeping everything fair, whether it enhances you or inhibits you, you know, you still, I think she earned her disqualification and it was rightfully so. Ricky Dolphin came back. He says, I'm unfortunately living in Atlanta. Well, you know, I'm from Atlanta, so it's, I mean, I haven't been to the city in a while, but I'm pretty sure that the whole response to this, you know, snowstorm that's going on, it's not as good as it should have been. You know, the snow started coming down where I'm at around like 3 p.m. and they didn't get the salt trucks out until like after like 7, and it was already too late. So, but yeah, good to see another fellow Atlantean, AT alien in the chat.
But we have to be able to differentiate the two, right? Because now, last night, okay, Sha'Carri was arrested again for excessive speeding, which she was doing over 100 miles per hour. She was like bobbing and weaving through traffic. She was tailgating. They caught her and they arrested her.
And that breaking news is in Orange County, where we've just confirmed that Olympic track star Sha'Carri Richardson is currently in jail. This is her mugshot from the Orange County Jail's website. The booking report shows she has been charged with dangerous excessive speeding, reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour or greater.
Yeah, so I mean, Orange County, that is California, right? Florida? Okay, well,
actually, there's an Orange County and California and Florida, if I think about it.
Yeah. Coke Penny says Atlantean. He's from Atlantis. No, he's an AT alien. That's what I meant to say. I corrected myself. I realized the mistake I said after I said it. AT alien. That's what we call ourselves. I think we've already seen this. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit of this.
100, 101.
Don't want to see
Gas
her.
in the car at 101.
Don't want to see her beg for her life.
I'm not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want
to. So make some.
Couldn't have tracked her.
You don't think so?
Well, under statutes that fall under, an officer has to sit there and be able to prove. And, you know, if he snaps on his radar gun as she's in front of him and she's still accelerating, technically that's not an accurate speed measurement. He would have gotten a better speeding, and a more accurate one if he had actually started pacing her. And and that probably would have held up better.
I thought you were going to say if he was like parked on the side of the interstate and like just had her pass him, that he would have had a more accurate reading. Because he wouldn't have been moving.
That would be a more accurate reading, because I know that in some cases the radar guns take into account the vehicle that it's mounted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, legally there is a case, but he probably would have handed his the district attorney where he is a stronger case if he started pacing her. Because that's part of the reason why their speedometers are more accurate than my vehicle or your vehicle's, Camp, because they actually need to use that to actually, you know, track your speed.
Right. I mean, the fact is, I mean, she was also cutting people off too, you know, just weaving through traffic. I mean, that's not safe either. So, I mean, whether she was going, you know, the speed limit or a little bit over or a little bit under, you know, it's like, I see this all the time driving through Atlanta. I see they don't like to use their turn signals. I swear I'm the only person that likes to use the turn signal like a couple, like 20 feet before I actually, you know, merge. But yeah, everybody out here, dude, they just merge whenever they want. And, you know, and everybody's on their phone. Even though we're a hands-free state, everybody's on their phone, dude. Like, I make a game out of it sometimes. We're like counting all the people on their phones, dude. It's wild. Fucking unacceptable. But yeah, dude, this right here, I see this all the time too. People like, you know, like, oh, I didn't know, I'm sorry. And the fact is, like, her car's still running. You know, she didn't turn the car off. And yeah, maybe he was trying to antagonize her to get her to maybe run. Not run like, you know, actually run like, you know, out of the car and stuff, but maybe like, you know, pull off in the car, which would have made things way worse. You know, I don't think she would have done that. But I think, you know, he knew that he had her like pretty much pinned here, and if she did anything else, it would have been a whole lot worse. Of course, you know, they would have gotten her for more charges.
I mean,
yeah.
If he had done that, he might have gotten in trouble himself.
You know, like antagonized her. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he had already said, like, look, you're already going to jail. You know, most times, like, they take your license, they get your registration, they go back in their car, you know, and then they come back with their notepad if they're going to write you a ticket and all that stuff like that. Or they let you know, hey, I'm going to go ahead and arrest you and stuff. But it just seemed like he had already, like, made that decision as soon as he walked up to the car.
Well, that's not what I mean. I mean, there was a recent Supreme Court case that takes into account officers' actions before and during any form of Terry stop, because originally it was within the moment of the encounter where an officer would use deadly force, but it's now expanded to where courts are mandated under the Supreme Court to actually consider all the actions. So I mean, if he's sitting there antagonizing her, I don't think a jury would be that sympathetic. But on the flip side of that, officers who act overly aggressive during any form of Terry stop, ever since people started recording police officers and just kept recording, it's actually gone to show that police officers have been acting way more aggressive than they should be.
I see. Well, I mean, at least in this case, that's not happening. It's just one-sided, you know, in terms of
the officers. The officers' anger is justified here.
No, I agree.
All she has to do is slip her attention once, and she could plow into who knows what vehicle and kill how many people.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about, is just the endangerment aspect of it. Whether she was a danger to herself or others, you know, like that's something that, you know, you got to take seriously, you know. And I mean, I get it. You know, you're in a hurry, you know, you got to get over where you're going and stuff. And maybe you're just used to going fast, but you know, it's like,
I find people who deem themselves nearly celebrity status, a lot of them tend to take laws as this does not apply to me because my director's cousin, he knows the mayor, he knows the governor. And in a lot of those cases they either get charges dropped or they get them the lowest possible charges.
Yeah, they just use their connections and stuff and maybe get off with a fine or something, that's easy for them to take care of. So yeah. So that might be her thought process. I mean, there's a big difference between an Olympic level athlete compared to, a Hollywood celebrity. I mean, if you pull up, what was it? Fluffy Bits, Gabriel Iglesias, gets pulled. He talks about 2 separate occasions where he gets pulled over and the cops let him go with just a warning. Because he made him laugh, though, right?
Well, the first one where he's driving the Hummer, he does everything he's supposed to do, and then they start, just having a little bit of fun with the cop. And, either way, he's got a big ticket to write for both vehicles. So either way, he's hitting whatever metrics he needs to.
Right.
Whether he writes one ticket or he writes both. But in the second one, technically he didn't have the front license plate on, and the cop walks up to the front and he's like, "I knew it." And Frankie's like, "What does that mean?" "It means we get to go." Because a lot of police in California actually like Gabriel, and he's done a bunch of charity shows for them, so it's not too surprising that 1 or 2 is going to let him go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think maybe also he probably didn't act entitled either, right? During the stop.
Probably not. I mean,
Yeah.
Gabriel is known as one of the more down-to-earth people.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, that's just kind of like the polar opposite of what we're seeing here right now. This is just a lot of, not taking accountability. This is just like a common trope that we keep seeing in a lot of modern women, and just talking too much, and not shutting up.
Camp. I actually found a YouTuber who makes videos because he's actually been a practicing therapist for a long time. I think I'll send you a couple of his videos because he talks about where this zero accountability stuff comes from. And
definitely.
I think I'll send if I can find it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, definitely. Send it in the Discord, man. I'll definitely check it out. Let's see what
phone
comes
calls,
next.
but people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
Now, once that happened and the news broke, here came, the women flocking to her aid again. Again, they flocked to her aid when it came to what she did in regards to, her coping mechanism. They flocked to her aid in what she did with her man in the airport, talking about it's not that big of a deal. So what? She could have swung on him and all of that.
Christian, are you serious right now?
Now, speaking of the airport incident that happened with Sha'Carri and her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, Christian was arrested too.
Yep. Same day, because he was trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho and basically got, I don't know, well, she's probably going to tell it, but they found drugs on, I think, in his vehicle, which was, I think it was like a glass pipe or something. And I mean, it was enough to get him arrested. So
you can see here, it says Sha'Carri Richardson wasn't the only track star arrested on Thursday. Her boyfriend, sprinter Christian Coleman, was busted for paraphernalia and resisting during the traffic stop. We've obtained the arrest affidavit from the medalist run-in with police, and it turns out it was a bit of a Team USA hangout of sorts, with CC as well as fellow sprinter Twanisha Terry making appearances. The report states cops were driving north on State Road 429 in Winter Garden, Florida,
there you go,
around noon on Thursday, when a gray vehicle approached at a rapid speed. When using radar, the cop says the car reached up to 104 miles per hour. The responding officer says the gray Aston Martin was driving dangerously, tailgating, and passing other vehicles and appeared to be flashing her lights at other cars. Cop activated.
It's like the worst type of driver on the highway that's like flashing their lights, being like, hey, can you get out of the way? You know, like, I'm in a hurry. I'm more important than you, you know? I hate people like that. People that like ride your ass too, like on the interstate. I'm just like, dude, all I gotta do is hit the brakes and you're like in the back of my car, you know?
Oh yeah.
I hate people like that, dude.
I mean, I've had similar experiences, except there was the one day I actually got revenge on somebody like that, and I didn't even get hit. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Coke Mini came back. He says, he has the face that says, arrest me. You know what? Probably. You know, I can already kind of see how the whole thing went down. He's like, yo, officer, she didn't do nothing. It's like, look, I got her on tape, man. She did plenty. What are you talking about?
Lights and sirens and initiated the traffic stop. When Richardson was pulled over, she claimed her back tire was underinflated, and that was the reason for her speed. She also stated her phone accidentally hit buttons and changed the car settings.
Either she doesn't know anything about cars or she's just being stupid.
I think she has no idea about the features of that car, and if you hit a button, if it's gonna, it has nothing to do with that. Like the whole car settings and stuff. Like, I think I know what she's talking about, like sport mode and like regular and stuff like that, but I don't think that that is where her phone was, you know? And I honestly, you know, it doesn't affect, you know, the fact that your foot was, well, you had a lead foot, you know, that didn't have anything to do with it. So
I mean, there's that, but there's also the fact that even if you're at 29 psi, even on a high, well, if she's in a high performance sport car, opening up the engine on a 29 psi, as long as she doesn't hit about 125 miles per hour, she should be fine. But if she was at like 40 psi and she's cruising at 100, that tire heats up enough, it will blow.
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I think she was right in between, like that sweet spot where it's like it's okay to be a little bit low, like, because I think the baseline is like 33 psi. Some cars it could be like higher, like 36 or something like that. But like when you get down to like 29, like that's not that bad. Like I've driven on a car with like 19 psi. And that was because I had 2 nails in my tires, whatever. All I had to do was keep putting air in it, whatever. I finally got it fixed. But, you know, like, I mean, I didn't drive on the interstate. Granted, I was just driving in the, you know, on the streets and stuff. But, yeah, I wouldn't even dream of going on the interstate with 19 psi just for the sheer fact that I could probably shred my tires. You know, just don't want to risk it.
Well, no, Camp, if you're at 19 and you're doing 100, it's not a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. It's when.
When. Exactly. You know what? And I'm just worried about, like making a slight left with my steering wheel and just fishtailing, you know, into the next car or something, you know? That's all I can imagine. Taking Souls for free. Welcome to the stream, sir. Yo, Camp. Sorry for interrupting. Just wanted to say what's up. Hey, man, I appreciate you joining the stream, man. Yeah, dude, we're just going through this little traffic stop with Sha'Carri Richardson, man. And this is just kind of what we talk about, you know, modern women not taking accountability and trying to
29 psi. Yeah, no.
She's fine.
Yeah, she'd have to be at 19 psi. And seeing as that an Aston Martin is what? It's not a 4-door sedan. It's this thing that's under a sedan. That means if she really wanted to push it, might be able to do a low freeway 50 on 19. But if she overinflated to like 45, you might just blow all 4 tires.
Yeah. So I just looked it up real quick. Florida is not a full hands-free state, but it has strict laws against using handheld devices in specific high-risk areas. So I guess you can be on your phone. It's illegal to hold your phone for any reason. In active work zones and school zones, it's illegal to hold the phone. General driving, you may not use a handheld device to type or read, but you may use hands-free technology, Bluetooth, voice activated for calls and GPS. Violations would be handheld phone use is a primary offense, meaning police can pull you over for that. Penalty is fines, court costs, and 3 points on your driver's license for violations. So it's kind of like Georgia. Georgia is like, well, it's not a full hands-free state, but Georgia is a hands-free state. Like, but it's wild. Like, if I was a cop, dude, I'd be freaking making money all day pulling people over, dude, because it's just wild. People don't care. There's signs everywhere, and people don't care.
Actually, if you pull too many people over, you can get in trouble, too.
I mean, I just have reasons, man. I'd have all my documentation, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm saying that there are police officers who have gotten in trouble for pulling too many people over. Because if you pull too many people over in one area, a lot of judges tend to think you're fudging the tickets.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. So I never thought about that.
The thing you have to remember about traffic court camp is that the judges there, they're in a court below a justice court. And, it is their job to do it, but do they want to sit there and be dealing with 6 over, 7 over, 8 over? No, they don't.
Well, not that, but I'm talking about like people being on their phone and people, driving way over the speed limit. I mean, there's people all the time driving on 285 and 400, man. And like, dude, I mean, I have a dash cam now, so I could record all this stuff, man. And yeah, people, they don't signal, man. They merge 3, sometimes 4 lanes over, and it's wild too, because I see a lot of people on motorcycles, man, and people on motorcycles are always outrunning the cops, because they can just weave through traffic, and I see it all the time, especially when you're like driving like downtown Atlanta. It's like it'll be like 3 or 4 motorcycles, and they're all weaving through traffic and going in the middle of the lanes and stuff in between cars, and cops can never catch up with them ever. So
yeah, I mean, if you do it right, you can get away as long as they don't have a helicopter following you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's keep going.
She didn't know how to fix. During Richardson's stop, a black Jeep pulled up in front of the scene on the side of the road.
Yeah, this was her boyfriend. He pulled up and he was just like trying to, I guess, talk some sense into the cop, and he ended up getting his ass arrested too.
And Coleman got out and waited by his car. When the officer went to fill out paperwork, they say Coleman approached the scene of the traffic stop, and he had to be instructed to walk back to his vehicle.
What is that, obstruction? Is that considered obstruction?
If it depends on the state, but the bar for obstruction means you physically get in the officer's way. If you walk up to a scene and it's like, hey man, I know the person, can you just let him go?
Mm-hmm.
Legally speaking, that's not interference.
Gotcha. I mean, the cop is basically telling him to go back to his car or whatever, and then I guess him not listening, and that got him in trouble.
Well, if he didn't do it, then yeah. But if he did, then technically the cop can't arrest him. I mean, a cop can arrest you for anything, but as long as they can try and prove it. But, that's something that they sit there and like, oh, we just do this and then give it to the district attorney. And if the district attorney chooses to bring it up to the court, that's one thing. And, some cops are so darn sloppy when they do stuff like that it never bodes well for them. I mean, that's a good way to end up on the Brady list.
I forgot about this detail that she's about to bring up. So he gets out of his car, out of his Jeep, whatever. The cop tells him, that when he went back to his car, he like dropped something in the grass. I forgot. This was the paraphernalia. I forgot about this.
As he returned to his Jeep, the cop says he dropped an object in the grass. The officer says Coleman eventually refused to comply with orders to keep himself out of the traffic stop, as he made several attempts to explain Richardson's speed to keep her out of jail. Richardson told the officer Coleman
that doesn't meet the requirements for interference. I mean, if he's walking up and just flapping his gums, That's not an interference charge.
But I guess him approaching the traffic stop and the officer telling him immediately to go back to his vehicle and let him like settle that business and stuff, and he just like kept coming back. Like I can see how that could have been some form of violation. I don't know the technical term for what it would be, but
it's not. If there are videos out there of people who watch police officers, because when police officers think they're not being watched, or they think they can mess with the cam footage, they'll do stuff they aren't supposed to, and they've been caught by people doing that before. And you see the officer storm over, yelling at them from across the street, like, you can't film, you can't do this. Granted, him going up multiple times doesn't help his case, but if he didn't, aggressively rush up, get in the officer's face and everything, it's kind of a hard sell, legally speaking.
Yeah. And I don't think it helped that Sha'Carri told the officer that, oh, that's my boyfriend. Like, oh, well, then of course he's going to try to get you out of jail.
Yeah, he's going to try and help. And
right.
Sadly, that's a very normal reaction.
Yeah.
Was her boyfriend, but later when asked to provide identification, the cop said he refused. And
yeah, he didn't want to have a record, so he didn't want to like submit his name and stuff like that. I don't know if that was smart either, man. I mean, if you're already kind of trying to involve yourself in this traffic stop, and trying to speak, for your girlfriend and stuff, and the cop's like, well, let me see some identification. You're just like, I don't have it. or no, I don't think I have to provide that. It's like, well, now we're a part of the problem now, it looks like,
Technically, that's the wrong... If you said that to any criminal defense lawyer, they'd look at you and tell you how stupid you are.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just drove up in a car, and you're like, oh, I don't have my identification. It's like, I don't know, I'm just trying to put two and two together, Like, I wouldn't say that.
Well, Camp, under the Fourth Amendment, you don't have to provide your ID unless the officer has probable cause. And, I know a lot of people will be like, well, it depends on the state. Some states are stop and ID.
Right.
Well, stop and ID works on the premise that it's a legal stop. Now, if you're approaching a stop and you get out to kind of like, oh, I know this person, that doesn't give an officer probable cause to ask you for ID.
Well, okay. I've seen this happen. A lot of like free speech people, a lot of them are some of them are lawyers too, they're like, oh, I know the law better than you and all that stuff. And it always seems like it always causes them more problems by not complying,
Well,
I mean, you got nothing to hide. Well, this is what I'm saying. If you got nothing to hide, then what's the problem? Give me your ID.
Well, Camp, it's not about not having nothing to hide. It's what my union reps always tell me. It's if you don't enforce that you have the ability to say, no, I'm not going to do this, eventually the supervisors are going to be like, well, he's not enforcing it, so guess what? We don't have to do. We don't have to put up with it. And sadly, you want to make the Fourth Amendment irrelevant. This is kind of the issue here. It's like, police officer asks you for your ID, you better hand it over. Or what? They arrest me, so I sue under the 1982 Federal Act.
Mm-hmm.
And they lose qualified immunity. Yeah, guess what? Unless the town or whoever doesn't want to pay for it, guess what? City's going to pay you however much it takes to make you go away. And the officer may get a write-up, and if it's egregious enough, they'll just let him disappear to another department.
Yeah, because they never get fired; they just get transferred.
Well, no, they just transfer around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing here is that you are right. It does make things easier if you provide your ID, but if you don't stand on your Fourth Amendment rights, we're kind of at the situation now where a guy could be, sitting on his front porch with a beer in his hand, and police see it, and it's like, well, you're drunk in public, and it's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Because is he standing on the public easement, or is he on the curtilage of his property? Well, if he's on the curtilage of his property, technically speaking, you're not drunk in public. You're on your own property.
That I understand. Yeah, because you're on your own property, your own private property and stuff like that. Like I understand that part, you know. But like I see this more and more, you know, especially with the whole ICE agent stuff in, you know, Minneapolis, whatever, and you know, people not wanting to comply with, you know, just simple identification and stuff. Like I understand like the way that it can be perceived if a cop is like going around trying to see if you're like an illegal or not, you know, illegal immigrant or something, or they're asking you for your papers and stuff, and people are like, I don't have to provide that to you and stuff. It's like, well, if you got nothing to hide, you know, if you are a legal citizen, it just would seem easier to not like put up any type of refusal, you know. Like I get the whole like amendment right and stuff like that, like, oh, you know, you're not the right to ask me this stuff like that, so I don't have to provide it. But it just seems like you're bringing more like problems your way by not just doing a simple compliance, and then they can just go about their way, you know. I think there's just, I don't know, I think there's smart ways to do things, and then there's just like, well, this is the right way to do it, you know. It's like, would you rather be smart or would you rather be right, you know?
Oh, that's true, but you know, it's just, you know, people say this is the reason why civil rights lawyers sit here and say if event, you know, this is what causes the erosion of your rights.
Right.
And you know, I mean, it's not like, and you know, the thing is this was a fully legal Terry stop on her.
Right.
So legally speaking, the officer is asking for his ID is at best, you know, can we get it just to like smooth things over?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But, you know, you ask any civil rights attorney who actually cares about protecting the people from government abuse, you know, they'll sit there and tell you flat out, you know, you invoke your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, and you shut the hell up. And the only thing you answer to an officer, especially in a situation where the pullover is not exactly legal or you get involved, is I don't answer questions and am I free to go? And if I'm free to go, you walk away. You don't sit there and try and antagonize the police. You just walk away.
Right. But unfortunately, that's not how this played out. I mean, he was trying his best to convince the officer that, you know, she had a reason for speeding. It's like the whole AI videos was like, look, you know, my son was just trying to rob you, and why'd you have to shoot him? I know it's AI slop, but I just think it's like the logic behind that. It's like, well, the reason I was stealing was because I needed it, you know? So it's like it doesn't logically make sense, in my opinion, you know? It's like there's no arguing this. You're gonna if you get involved, it just seems like from an outside perspective, and maybe I'm saying this because like, yes, it's already happened, so I have like hindsight on this, but I just think that if your girlfriend is caught doing 100 miles per hour or whatever, and you happen to be in the car, like a couple cars behind or whatever, you see that she's pulled over and there's a cop and stuff, what are you going to do? You know, are you going to try to convince the cop that, you know, like, no, like don't take her to jail and stuff like that, you know? Or do you just let it run its course and then just see like if you know you can bail her out and stuff and then go from there? Because I mean, there's really nothing I would think you could say that could get her out of the ticket or out of the violation, you know? Like, I think she's screwed.
No, there's not a lot you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, reasonably, the only thing you could do would be just get all the information and, you know, ask permission to drive the car. And try and do that, but there are going to be officers who are like, "Nope, we're towing it."
Yeah, we're going to stick you with the bill and all that stuff. Yeah, that's true, and it sucks, man, because it's like I remember, I didn't have this exact thing happen, but I did have my car. You know, basically they're like, "Oh, you know, we can call your insurance, whatever. They can tow it, or we can tow it." you know? And then I was like, well, you know, let me call my insurance. And my insurance was taking forever to get their tow out there. So then the cops ended up having their tow person come out, their little flatbed come out and get the car. And it was a lot more expensive than if my insurance had come out and get it in time. But the cop was just like, they were like being impatient, you know? They're like, no, let's just do it this way. It'll be a lot faster. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, it'll be a lot more money for me, you know? Yeah. To pay for. Which, you know, I'm like, they don't care. You know? No, they don't. They're like, just get your car. We just want your car off the road. You know, that's all it is. You know? So. Yeah. But let's keep going. Let's see how he got placed under arrest here.
He was placed under arrest for resisting. When Coleman's Jeep was searched, a glass smoking device was found in the center console, and the bowl area appeared to be used, but clean, with a small amount of green, leafy plant material on it, suspected to be cannabis. After Coleman popped up, Terry arrived as well.
You're sitting there getting high in the car? Are you stupid?
Hey, I forgot, okay? I forgot I had it right there in the center console, okay? My bad. But I'm wondering what did he throw in the grass? Because the cop said he saw something grow through. Would you even like do anything like that? Would you even have like, oh shit, I have this in my pocket, I better get this. It's like, I don't know. I guess he figured it was like, they might search my car, you know? So let me just get it out of my vehicle.
They have no reason to search your car.
Well, that's probably where his mind was at. That's probably why he thought he was just going to throw it in the grass, but the cop's like right there in plain sight to see. It was like, come on, man, you're not thinking. Maybe he was high. Maybe that's what he was thinking about, and that's probably why, you know, why he was getting why he was sloppy about it. Super sloppy.
And wanted to know what was going on with her friends. She was ultimately given a ticket for stopping on a limited access highway and was free to leave, taking Richardson's purse with her. Due to Coleman and Terry's involvement, the cops said they requested backup to complete the traffic stop. Richardson and Coleman's vehicles were towed from the area, and they were taken to jail in separate vehicles. Now, before you know the incident happened with the two of them in the airport, I'd never heard of Christian Coleman. You know, I watch you know, sports and especially stuff like track, like in a fleeting manner, so I didn't know of him. But now this is the second time his name is entangled in something that has to do with Sha'Carri, and police are involved. Like, who was going to tell them to leave each other alone? This is not good. There's nothing good coming from it. Every time the two of them...
Dude, I got to be honest with you, man. I would have dropped her after that whole airport thing. You know? Like this whole, I mean, I might not know the whole thing about the argument.
Around the block enough knows that an abuser doesn't stop until either A, you actually give them a dose of their own medicine, and if you're a guy doing that to a woman, well, you do that, and next thing you know, the police are getting called, and you're in jail for DV, assault and battery.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap for you, man. Because I mean, assaulting women and children, man, that's like a death sentence in jail. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why I'm just like, dude, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just one of those pack of people. I'm just gonna walk away, you know, rid myself of this and lead a more peaceful life. You know, like I don't need involvement. You're not the only woman on this earth. You know, I don't know their situation. I don't know, like, if the sex was crazy, you know, and typically the sex is crazy with the woman who's crazy, you know, but it's not worth it, man. It's definitely not worth it. Especially you got priors.
Wait, does he have priors or did she have priors?
Well, no, the fight that they had. Oh no, she has priors because of the whole thing with the whole airport thing, and then and then this. But no, I think he was dumb. He should have just stayed in his car and see what happened, you know?
Well, actually, what he should have done is, you know, just gone up and be like, what's going on? Oh, she's going to jail. Okay. Can you just, like, give me the information I need, then just drive away?
Yep. Yeah. That would have been a lot smarter, you know? That would have, like, at least, you know, that would have been responsible on his part, because then he could also have been like, look, I can get the car towed. Please don't tow the car. If they're like, you have to tow the car, okay, just, you know, if I can have the information where it's going to be and stuff, you know, and he can work on getting it out and stuff like that. But I just think that they didn't really think about it too much, you know, and yeah, the dude had freaking paraphernalia in the car and probably a little bit of something in his pocket, and he's just like, oh shit, I need to get this out of my pocket. And yeah, dude, it's just...
Although I do question the legality of the search, but
Yeah.
You know, sadly, that's for the courts to decide. And if he wins, he wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Link up in whatever capacity, there is some kind of mischief going on. And he's over here, you know, caping for her like he did when he was at the airport. He's caping for her in the way of, you know, trying to, like, you know, what's going on with my girl? The same girl that was about to throw you under the bus and have you locked up when the situation happened at the airport.
In Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand. We were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not going to resist. But I'm telling you that we were arguing. I didn't assault him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that your guys are doing this to me, and he's the man in the situation, he's the man in the situation.
Whoa, man in the situation? Like, what does that mean? That he's automatically the aggressor? What does that mean? Like
Actually, ever since President Trump didn't re-sign VAWA back into federal law, that's no longer the actual way they're supposed to do it. Now, police officers still do it that way. Legally, they're not supposed to.
They automatically arrest the man, is what you're saying?
Well, no. I mean, this goes back to the MRM and their fight against actually fighting against DV the right way. But basically, VAWA, in a lot of cases, strong-armed men into the arrestee role. And when President Trump didn't re-sign that into law, it actually changed the landscape a lot, but it also depends on where you are and districts, because everywhere is different. They tend to have different protocols. So I mean, you know, the general rule that I will advise any guy is have a witness and have a recording. And if you don't have a witness, have 2 dang recordings. Because that's probably what saved me from getting arrested when my ex came over here demanding that I give her stuff. And I was like, you want it? Well, go sign the paper upstairs. I'll get it notarized and I'm good. I'll tell you where your illegal stuff is. She refused to do it. She got so angry that she really upset our kids, and ultimately I had my laptop recording through OBS, and ultimately they gave her a slap on the wrist, but after that she watched her temper because she faced consequences.
Well, I mean, I think I might have mentioned before in a past live stream, I knew a guy that basically was just hanging out with some girl after work, whatever, and then his girlfriend came home and they were just sitting on the couch watching TV. You know, they weren't on top of each other. You know, they were just eating. They just went and got food or whatever. And the girlfriend freaking blew up, started throwing all types of shit at him or whatever, starts, you know, punching him, slapping him, scratching him and everything like that. He had scratches all over his torso, on his arms and stuff. And, you know, the police were called, and when the police came, they saw that she didn't have a scratch on her, you know, nothing. And he basically was like bleeding through his shirt. He had like a white undershirt, and he was like bleeding all through it. And they had to take her to jail because she was obviously the aggressor, you know? So, I mean, at least that was kind of a fair situation, you know? Like, I was like, yeah, it sucks, you know, but it's like, look, I mean, it was obviously a misunderstanding, you know? And he's like, maybe it was dumb. Maybe I should have just like said, like, you know, like we shouldn't have hung out and stuff, even though we were just coworkers. But still, you know, the situation was like, yeah, it's kind of hairy, bro. You know, like,
most people first response should well, according to our laws, it's violence shouldn't be your first reaction. It should be your last reaction, and that's only if it's violence done on you first.
Yeah.
Sadly,
like self-defense.
Our nature does not work like that.
Well, I mean, the woman was obviously highly emotional, you know, not rational, not, you know, just completely jumping to conclusions. And freaking, blew up, man, and was throwing all types of stuff at him and, destroying property in the house and stuff. And it was kind of wild, dude. I mean, I saw a little bit of the aftermath and I was like, dude, that's crazy, man. They're not together anymore, but I was just like, dude, like, I was just like, I don't know. I mean, if you don't have trust, you don't have nothing, in a relationship. I think if you can't trust one another, then yeah, it's like you have no solid foundation to even be together, If you have to constantly prove that you're not cheating on somebody, that's got to get exhausting for the guy or the girl, So.
Actually, most people have deemed that abusive. Because it's basically impossible to prove that you're not, because they're always looking for an excuse to blow up.
Yeah.
Always, like, you get a text from your cousin, and who's this bitch?
She's my family. You met her at the family reunion last year. You don't remember that shit?
Unless you're in Alabama.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But at the same time, what he has on camera, when I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will.
You have your camera phone right here.
Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian.
Then they flock to her aid in support.
Wait, did she just say that her phone camera has something different than what the airport cameras have? She's like, my phone has something different on it. Like, I don't know, man. I think she's applying the same type of logic that she did to her traffic stop, dude. Just talking a lot, making excuses, not taking accountability. Same person.
Yes.
Same person, same behavior.
Of, this situation in the comment sections, and were like basically upset that she was arrested for endangering other people with her reckless driving. As you can see here, this comment says, although 100 is mad OD and she could have harmed someone, in her defense, she could have harmed someone going the speed limit, and 100 is not that bad. I be going 90 in my little '08 Infinity. I'm sure she was just cruising smooth as H in her whip. No excuses, by the way, but it happens, especially if the right song comes on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
This is like a woman defending another woman. You can tell a woman wrote that. No excuses, by the way, but it happens, especially if the right song comes on. I got nothing on this, man. This is just like
that's like turning on Rammstein and flooring it, and the cop pulls you over. It's like, why the frick were you speeding? Because Rammstein was on.
Right.
You do like the whole puppy dog eye thing. Like
let me unpause it for you, officer, so you can understand.
Yeah, no. No.
I mean, going 90, my little '08 Infinity, man. It's just like, dude, it's like, this is the logical fallacy that I guess women have about this whole, like, look, it's not that bad. Going 100 miles, yeah, she could have killed somebody, yeah, but I'd be doing it too. So it's not that bad. I don't know, man. This doesn't sound like a solid defense to me.
Next person said, arrested, I just got a ticket. Then somebody replied to that and said, they will arrest you in Florida now if you go over a certain speed limit. Some super speeder law. Next person says, she said she fast as hell, boy, crying laughing face. There is a problem when, when women do things and it's such a joke and it's not detrimental to anything that they have going on. Not that I would wish that on anybody, right? But there is a problem when women support other women to their own detriment. Right? Because when everything happened in regards to Sha'Carri and, her Nike deal and all of that, Nike came out and had support, for her in the midst of her being banned from the Olympics at the time. Now she's doing something that
Nike was like, just do it. It's like, yeah,
it's bad when your sponsor's just wanting to scream at you.
Yeah, it's just weed, man. Just do it. It's no big deal. But that's the crazy thing. Like, if a guy got tested positive for any type of anabolic steroid or performance enhancer or marijuana or something like that, and he gets dropped, whatever, do you think he's gaining any more sponsors? No, I think if anything, he's losing sponsors. So I don't know. It's just kind of the weird double standard, you know. They trying to save these women, you know, from themselves making these mistakes. You know, I'm sure she was held against her will, and the pipe was held up to her lips, and she was forced to inhale. All right.
Yeah, right.
It's not her fault. Okay. You're being a toxic man for assuming that.
Again, it's clearly not okay. This is like a trend that every couple of years something goes on with Sha'Carri, and she does something and people are like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious. She's our girl. Y'all just hating on her. Y'all have like these hidden agendas against her. But it's like nobody can't have something against you unless you are giving them some kind of ammunition.
I'm glad she's actually speaking a little bit of sense here. Like she's a very sensible woman saying all this stuff. And I'm actually really glad that, it's not all women act like this and taking up for the other person. Like she's actually saying like, yeah, dude, like you did something wrong and, you try to make excuses, whatever and then other people try to rush to your help and stuff and try to like, defend you online, whatever, which means virtually nothing, does virtually nothing. It just makes things worse, I think. And no, but I'm glad that she's actually being this person here is being a little rational. So I'm glad to see that.
Driving excessively over 100 miles per hour. It don't matter the case. I'm just gonna keep it real. You have times when people are on road trips and the road is empty, it's the middle of the night, and the space is there, it's free, they're trying to like make up time on the road, and they do that, and it's still dangerous. Why is it dangerous? Because at that speed, anything that comes in your way that you are not expecting, it can be detrimental to your health and to other people's health. Downplaying this situation is, to me, I think this is worse than even the other two. I really do think so.
I mean, it is worse than the other two because it involved like other variables on the road, It could have been potentially worse. Thank God it wasn't, but there was a lot more risk on this most current story than just like everything else that happened prior to this,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone thinks they're freaking Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty,
parting the traffic,
part of the traffic, and he just floors it.
God, I remember when I first saw that, I was like, God, I wish I could have that, especially when I'm running late for work. Man, that would come in so much handy. No.
Oh yeah.
Because what you are showing, even on social media, is that no matter what you do, you will not be held accountable for your actions in the way that you probably should be.
More than anything, I refuse to run away. But not refuse to run, but I refuse to run away, but face everything that comes to me head on, because everything on the other side is greater.
Now, this is my stance, my point of view, and my opinion. From my stance, I believe that I don't know who's around Sha'Carri. I have no idea who's around her. But I feel that when you are surrounded by people who are just allowing you to do whatever you want to do or want to say or whatever the case is, and aren't.
This is just like, it seems like a common trope that I also see with a lot of modern women is this whole main character type syndrome. Like I can pretty much do whatever I want. The rules don't apply to me. The laws don't apply to me. I got this nice car. I'm famous. People know who I am. I have a whole team behind me. I'm making a lot of money. I'm more important than just the average person in the next car, So it's like I can cut them off. I can, I'm just more important. So they need to move aside, basically. I'm going to flash my lights so they can get over. And it's just like, dude, there are psychopaths everywhere on the interstate. I see them all the time. And it's just, I always feel like it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time until it comes to a head. And they're weaving through traffic and they just happen to change lanes, and there's a truck that's like slowing down at that very moment, and they just slam into the back of it because they just weren't, they couldn't react fast enough, you know. But it's just, you know, I think everybody has to learn that hard lesson, and you know, but until they do, yeah, they're just gonna be driving like psychopaths on the interstate. Everybody has to just watch out for them.
Holding you accountable for the things that are detrimental to, again, not only to other people, but to yourself, there's a problem. And, you know, I would hope, because me, I'm the type of person, if I see somebody doing something that I do not agree with, I'm going to get with them on the phone or in real life. Okay? If there's anybody that you see that I have an opinion about, I'm not going to be running to do no reaction or talk. I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call you and figure out what's up with this, what's up with that, what's going on. That realism.
Yeah, but I don't think you know Sha'Carri Wilson or Richardson or whatever, so I think you're going to run and make a reaction pretty much like I'm doing. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is just something I wanted to talk about. Shout out to Riva TV. I do appreciate your coverage on this. The next video I want to go to is going to cover Jay-Z, who was recently brought up in the Epstein files. So let's go to that. I want to say that's under my watch later, I believe. Yeah. So this is a video by Poetic Flacco. He's been on the channel a couple times, and he's done a couple things of coverage. So Jay-Z and Pusha T were named in the Epstein files. So let's see what this one's all about.
The Epstein files just got released, and there's a lot of surprising names on here, but no name is more surprising than Jay-Z and Pusha T. Before we get this video started, if you're in need of some money and you...
Okay, we're not in need of some money. Let's skip ahead. Let's skip to about right here.
Download the app by clicking the link in my description and get started now. Back in 2019, when Epstein was initially arrested, the FBI opened up a tip line. And the tip line was for anybody with any type of information on Epstein, his co-conspirators, if you were a young woman who was there, because, you know, the Epstein network was so vast that when the FBI arrested Epstein, for the most part, they thought they didn't even uncover 1% of the iceberg. So this tip line was opened up. Now, this tip line had a lot of accusations coming through. Unfortunately for Jay-Z and Pusha T, they both had allegations about themselves come through the tip line. In the case of Jay-Z, he's beyond cooked in the eyes of public perception because the victim came forward July 10th, 2019, 8:20 a.m. Eastern. On July 10th, 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern, the particular victim called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Now, they provided the following information. So this essentially is like a transcript of what they provided. So they said in approximately 1994, there's a bunch of redaction. I'm assuming is victim names, et cetera, et cetera. So this got redacted, but she revealed herself to blank, which I'm assuming is like the call center employee that answered this call, as a past victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein. She described the abuse occurred during parties. Now, we all know, you know, a bunch of these abuse did happen at these parties, right? I think Jeffrey Epstein was known to throw these really like wild parties that had these like wild massages. I think like in like the first little piece of Epstein files that kind of got released like a couple years ago, we heard, you know, like there were like midgets there, like there were like really tiny people.
We can't say that word. We gotta say little people. But yeah, I do remember a little bit of this. But so was it approximately 1996? Resided with blank, and an unknown man abducted her from her home, whence she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, who is Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into redacted. Redacted believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. Wow. So she was abducted on 7 occasions, awakening each time in an opulent indoor setting, suffered from sex abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated, recalled Leon Block and Willem Barr, current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of abuse. In approximately 2006, last recalled being abused by Epstein.
Like 4'9" midgets.
That's crazy.
Like,
let's see. Okay, let's go a little bit further.
But not minors. blank and blank are people in high position of power. So she will claim that. Oh man,
let's go a little bit further.
Specifically, but she did say that Harvey Weinstein, digitally penetrated her, but Jay-Z didn't, penetrate her. Jay-Z was just present, which to me is just as bad, right? Like
guilty by association. I mean, the fact is, there were a lot of people that witnessed that were around Jeffrey Epstein while these parties were going on. A lot of well-known people. And, I don't know, some of you probably saw some of the files, whatever. Bill Clinton got called out in a lot of them. Donald Trump got called out in a lot of them, too.
King Charles.
Yes, yeah. And then, what was it? And now Jay-Z and Pusha T and Bill Gates. Oh, dude, Bill Gates and the hookers, dude. Basically, he. What I heard from that is that he didn't want to have the conversation with Melinda about the STDs that he had from the hookers and everything. So he was talking with to doctors, whatever, to drug Melinda's food or something so that they could silently cure her instead of having to have that conversation. I think that's crazy to me, man. It's I get it, man. It's a tough situation to be in, but it's just maybe we can get around this and do something else and maybe just drug her food, maybe, and we can slowly let this kind of fade away. I don't know. I think that's kind of wild to me.
Yeah.
If this alleged minor was abducted from her home, brought to an Epstein mansion, and it was you, Harvey Weinstein, and Epstein there, and this minor was enduring abuse in your presence, to me, you are just as guilty as whoever is doing the abuse. I don't distinguish the difference between the two. Whoever is there is just as guilty and equally as guilty. But again, this is just a tip, right? Now, however this tip was investigated, no charges were ever brought. Right, as far as I know, Jay-Z was never brought for a subpoena, a deposition, nothing. And this particular tip didn't go anywhere. But because the tip came in by Epstein, it was included in the Epstein files. Fortunately for Pusha T, we can't say the same because she did list things that Pusha T did specifically. Now, it will continue and it will state on each occasion she believed she was drugged, clouded her memory. She attributed the drugging as frequently performed by persons assigned as handlers. Now, one of the handlers she would say will be Pusha T, because at the time, I would say Pusha T don't really belong in those rooms. Pusha T was not a superstar. He was not a megastar. He wasn't somebody of importance. So if somebody like Pusha T was in those rooms, Pusha T would probably be the handler, right? The doughboy, the do-boy, right? The store runner. Right, because Pusha T wasn't no megastar. Jay-Z, I could understand Jay-Z being in rooms with Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. Pusha T don't really fit in those rooms at all, bruh. That's like you seen Poetic Flacco in a room with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I kind of always thought of Pusha T as a lower level rapper or whatever, but he's definitely grown in popularity since his old running with Kendrick and stuff, and also the beef that he did with Drake and stuff. So he's coming a lot more prominence and stuff, and so it just makes more I don't know, for this to happen in 2007. I don't know if maybe Pusha T was kind of on the rise and stuff and was able to be invited to these parties to be able to participate in some form or fashion, but I just think that, I don't know, Pusha T just kind of seems out of the blue. Now, Jay-Z, he's been a billionaire for more than more than 5-10 years now, so I can see how he would run in circles like this with these high-level people. David, Andy's, hey there, Camp, how's it going? Good to see you, David. Welcome to the stream, sir. Yeah, man, we just going through a lot of Epstein files now. This was recently released about Jay-Z and Pusha T being named in the files, and everybody's kind of going crazy and stuff. And Jay-Z's a billionaire, so we're trying to. I really wonder how is he going to being able to manipulate himself out of this situation, keep his family safe, and hopefully not have to do any time. This is breaking news here. So. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming to the stream, man. Good to see you, David. Always.
You will say, what is this dirtball doing in this room? I'm probably the handler in that regard. Okay, so this story makes sense, to be honest. Again, I'm not saying Pusha is guilty of anything. I'm just saying Pusha role being in that room makes sense, okay? Now, it will continue, and she will say, among her handlers, she identified the artist Pusha T. In approximately 2007, she attended a party following invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her before engaging in abuse. So now Pusha T went from being just a handler to now Pusha T was also engaging in the abuse. Now
that's quite the upgrade, you know, going from just being a person to, you know, was what drug the people to actually, you know, getting in on the sexual abuse. I think that's kind of a reach, you know. Like, I mean, this is kind of dangerous territory we're in because, you know, all of this is alleged. You know, nobody, nothing's been filed yet. This has all just kind of been presented. So, and you know, this happened almost 20 years ago. So, I don't know. What do you think would be the statute of limitations on this kind of thing? Like, I have no idea. No idea.
Sadly, statute of limitations is done by state, and some states got rid of statute of limitations, so it really depends on the state.
And if the victim would want to take you to like civil court, whatever, they could. There wouldn't be any statute of limitations on that either. You know, it would be like whether they wanted to take you to court and prove their case against you, you know? Kind of like what was happening with Diddy, you know?
I mean, the big problem is most people assume the statute of limitations for criminal and civil are a while. They are. Some of them are 20. See, most civil statutes go anywhere from 5 to 10. And what else? Most civil go 5 to 10, depending upon what the issue is. And in some states, the criminal could be until they decide to prosecute or they don't decide to prosecute. It varies.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would also vary on the crime, too. I mean, if you out and, like, murder somebody, I'm sure there's no statute of limitations on that. But, like...
There used to be.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
But now, probably not, right?
Nowadays, not so much, but I mean, I don't know when it all changed, but I know that there were people in the 50s who got away with, who managed to hide enough evidence, and by the time they could prove it, it had already been 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the statute of limitations was up, so it was like they couldn't even prosecute.
Yeah.
That's when you started seeing the push to get statute of limitations removed.
Right.
Even though this person committed the crime when they were, not even in their 20s, they were maybe in their 30s and 40s, and now they're in like their 60s or their 50s, and it's, it's.
Well, how old was the Zodiac killer? Wasn't that? I mean, they never caught him.
They never caught him.
Right. But I mean, I guess if they were to, I don't know, he's probably dead by now. I would think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious about that.
I mean, if the Zodiac killer's still alive, I was assuming that he was, maybe middle-aged when that happened, you'd be staring at an 80 or 90-year-old man.
Right.
And they have to charge you with the statute at the time, so they probably couldn't even charge him.
Yeah.
You can't just because in some cases they have tried to retroactively to change this stuff, but it doesn't always work out.
So I just did a little bit of research, and they said the witnesses in the late 1960s described the Zodiac killer as he could be appearing as late 20s to early 40s at the time, and most profilers place his birth year somewhere between 1925 and 1945. So if he was born around 1930, he'd be about 95 today.
Yeah, so if he's alive...
Yeah.
He's a decrepit old man who the only way he's harmful is if he actually has a small caliber projectile in hand. Well, small caliber firearm in hand.
Yeah.
And even then, that's if he can even hold it and shoot straight.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting. So
he claimed to have additional information of other persons involved in the enterprise and information related to the racketeering conducted in support of the trafficking. She further believed she was under surveillance and stalked at the direction of the people involved in the abuse. She confirmed
Well, the
she was
sad
not
part
diagnosed.
is that, from what I understand, in a couple of the cases of how they followed some of the girls, they actually did actively stalk them.
Yeah, the whole grooming aspect, right?
Yeah, and the other thing was that they're not going to tell you about here specifically was that I don't know if they brought this up before, but what was her name? Maxine Glaswell, whatever her name.
Oh, Jelaine Glaswell? What's her name? Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the one that's she's still in prison right now.
Yeah. The thing that they kind of leave out, it's there, but they leave it out. It's that she was the one who was actually selecting the girls more than Epstein was.
Well, yeah, I think that was another thing. Like, she was kind of like, I don't know, I guess the buffer between her and Epstein, like kind of, I guess, coaxing the girls and making them feel comfortable and stuff. And so that, I mean, I think that kind of makes a lot of sense to me that, that's how they were, able to successfully get all these girls rounded up, whatever, and convinced that, it's okay. It's just going to be a nice little party or whatever. And then, before they know it, they're passed out and, rich men are having their way with them,
Yeah.
Kind of wild. With any mental illness. She refused to provide her physical address, advising that she maintained no permanent address. Rather, she moved between staying at different hotels. So this was somebody who was homeless, which I don't know if that gives more credibility or takes it away. I'm not about to, like diminish the abuse just because of somebody right now probably in a position that's unfavorable. Right, a lot of people see a homeless woman making these allegations and they'll probably say, crazy. I don't know, man. Now, what I would say, man, is Kanye West have been telling us for years that one of these dudes was on Epstein Island, that one of these dudes were involved with Epstein, but we just ain't been paying attention. This song wasn't dropped too long ago, right? On World War III.
Oh, God.
2,
I remember this
Kanye
one.
West says, know some ninjas that went to that island. Why the F would you go to that island? Now, Kanye West,
I mean, if you knew what was going on there and you went and you're trying to dodge the consequences, that's on you.
Yeah, no, I actually think that, everybody that was involved, should definitely be held accountable and prosecuted to the full extent. I don't really care, what your involvement level was, if you were just the person that was just standing in the room, just watching it all go down. I just think that's just as bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you knew what was going on, that's already bad enough that you didn't say anything.
Yep.
But if you were like the guy who had to come in after everything and clean up the mess and you did or didn't know, I mean, to the right people, there are people who would just dig a hole for you, tell you to climb in, put 2 in your head and just cover the hole.
Yeah, that would be what's the tying up loose ends. That's what that would be. Yeah.
Around Pusha, has been around Jay-Z. They've been feuding for a little while now. One could probably only imagine that if he were to be talking about some dudes, he'll probably be talking about Pusha or Jay-Z. Man, listen, man, I'm just a messenger here, bruh. Hey, Rock Nation. All right, don't hurt me, bruh. All right, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just reporting what I think could apply here. But we've been calling Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Jay-Z could afford like probably the best legal team to get him out of this, but it might not be enough, it might not. At least in the court of public opinion, he might win the case, whatever, but everybody probably will still believe otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you're so much as caught on Epstein Island in the court of public opinion, you might as well just jump off a cliff because your reputation is over.
yeah, I agree.
Crazy for a while now, man. But the one thing we know is we didn't see allegations involving Kanye's name, man. Ain't that crazy? The one person we call crazy, we call a lunatic, we call bipolar, we say he belongs in a mental health institute. Somehow that person is the only person we don't see in these Epstein files. We don't see with nasty allegations towards his name. Now, Jay-Z to me, and here's why I think it's cooked, okay? Even though the allegations are unsubstantiated, because these are just, tips coming through a hotline. Fortunately for Jay, the world already wants to believe these allegations. So there's nothing Jay can do to really convince people that he's not guilty. Man, as soon as...
He's already been rubbing shoulders with Weinstein over the years and being seen with him. And, I mean, the thing is, man, there's enough evidence out there to point to that, yeah, he could have very well had a lot to do with this, maybe not just being a guy standing in the room, maybe he was participating in it and stuff, or maybe just the people that were victims did not know who he was just another guy in the room, but he was also partaking as well, and if these girls are drugged, who's to say their memory doesn't lapse a little bit and they kind of, mix around faces, or they don't remember exactly, who it was in the room that was going on. There's just a lot of variables there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you give someone the right drug cocktail, not only are they going to not wake up until after everything's said and done, but they're not going to wake up, and they're going to wake up, they're going to be like, where am I?
Right.
Or if it's really bad, they might forget who they are for like a day or two.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, you're out of sorts like that. You're not going to be able to pinpoint and be like, oh yeah, it was definitely Jay-Z. Could have been a guy that looked like Jay-Z, could have been a guy that looked like Harvey Weinstein, but I mean, Harvey Weinstein's already kind of made a name for himself all around Hollywood or whatever. And plenty of actresses have come forward, and, he kind of hung himself by, kind of being the gatekeeper to Hollywood for a lot of these young actresses trying to break out and stuff. So, it was an eventuality for Harvey Weinstein, but as far as Jay-Z, I mean, he had the whole cover with, his marriage with Beyonce and stuff, and his family and his businesses and all that stuff, and him becoming a billionaire. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he had that one side to him and stuff, but then he also had, a lot of this other stuff, that is moving in silence and stuff, and not being so public and stuff. And it's crazy, it's like, what is the natural next step after you become a billionaire? It's not more money, it's more power, and how do you get power? You get power through dominance, and unfortunately, what's that?
Or the right connections, take your pick.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think that, rich people become bored with like obtaining stuff. So then it just becomes about, having control over people, And it could be a positive thing, like controlling a company with a bunch of people, or it could be controlling a whole sex ring, it could be like both extremes and stuff. But like, either way, it's like, I think power is the next step in terms of like, once you gain a certain level of wealth and stuff, it's like money just has no meaning after that. And then life actually probably becomes boring. So it's like, you try to look for a little bit of excitement, and I don't know, it could be like a whole hostel situation. It's like, yeah, I'm just a billionaire that comes to these hostels and murders these people that go on vacation and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it does something for me. I don't know. Like, I think that whole concept, that movie Hostel is just like, it's like, for some reason, to me, it just sounds like it could absolutely happen, Yeah.
Although I wonder, complaining about the Hollywood casting couch when they went through the whole Me Too movement was kind of pointless, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, there were some people that got caught up in that, Well, there's a lot of false allegations as well, too, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the casting couch has probably been around as long as Hollywood has.
Mm-hmm.
So that basically means that, you know, X many years later, because someone lost popularity, all of a sudden we can go after them, and it's like, okay, but my problem is, does this actually get rid of the casting couch? No, it doesn't. It just goes somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true. Too many players in the game, man. Too many people.
Well, I mean, where do you think the new casting couch is? It's not in the U.S. after the Me Too. I mean, there might be for pornography,
Right.
sure, but for Hollywood, nah.
Yeah, probably on some island somewhere, man.
No, they moved it to Dubai.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, think about it for a minute here, Camp. Even the Tate brothers talk about this, and I think this is actually something they didn't lie about. Because if you actually checked out the right media reports, they actually reported that who was it? I think it was Caitlyn Jenner. She was seen out there on the yachts there a couple years ago, and after she came home, and like a month later, she landed this huge modeling gig. It didn't get rid of the casting couch. It just went somewhere where there's less inclined to be cameras pointed at it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, man. I mean, I think the less media coverage, the more you can kind of, go kind of underground and, not have to worry and stuff. I think that's kind of like the natural evolution of things, man,
Yeah.
Just doing it inside the United States is just too risky,
Well, it didn't used to be, but now it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it used to be understood that if you wanted to get somewhere, you had to grease that palm somehow.
Right.
I mean, it's still true in a lot of industries.
Yeah.
That you want to get anywhere, you need to either have the right connections, or you better have some money, or you better be willing to put something out to get yourself out there.
Right.
And the thing that pisses me off is that these women were saying, "Oh, we were taken advantage of," and I'm like, yeah, I imagine for some it is true, but how many of them were not? I mean, you just think about that for a minute. You're on a one-on-one with a successful actress who didn't really have a lot of connections in the beginning, and it's just like, how do you not know that someone who actually may have cared about you enough wouldn't tell you? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there and sell me that, oh, I didn't know at all. It's like, it doesn't work like that. Industry rumors are industry rumors, and they still come out. So it's like, no, I don't buy that for a second that they didn't know. They just didn't want to have to sleep with that guy. It's like, where's the really good looking guy that I can just have a good time with instead of this smelly old fart?
Right. And that's the thing. It's the opportunity, and the doors opening, after the act is done and stuff. And it's like, is that the price that you pay, for fame? For some girls, it's like they're willing to just kind of, close their eyes and just kind of go through it in order to, if it means that they get an opportunity. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of accountability on the woman's side too. It's like, you wouldn't have been taken advantage of if you didn't put yourself in that situation to be taken advantage of. It's like, well, I don't know how else I could have been this big time Hollywood, actress if I didn't go through Harvey Weinstein, because he's the one that had all the connections to all the directors to get me in all these movies and stuff. And I remember Harvey Weinstein, dude, he was everywhere in terms of executive producing. He did a lot of the Quentin Tarantino movies and stuff, which that had a lot of big name actors in it too. And it just seems like his name was everywhere, especially like in the 90s and early 2000s, and but I don't know, man. It just seems like to me like he was kind of the pipeline, for a lot of actresses, to make it big. And it just like, when I don't know, like, are you willing to trade a little bit of your self-respect in order to come out on the other side, rich and famous, beyond your wildest imagination? I think money really corrupts people, man, and just the dreams that they think of being famous can, the pathway to it corrupts people, man. And
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's unfortunately it's a story that we've heard way too many times. At least in terms of Hollywood actresses, and I think also in the rap scene too, people trying to look for a deal and stuff, and they're like, look, and this does happen with a lot of like female rappers and just female acts in general. Like they want to get a record deal, they gotta do some studio time. When I say studio time, I'm throwing up air quotes because that means you gotta kind of have to do something to the producer in order to get him to push your label, or push your record out. So.
Yeah,
it's a dirty business.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm just kind of like, I get that it's wrong, but on the flip side, you're still participating even if you don't want to be. So it's just
there's a motivation for the person that's being victimized. There's a motivation there,
Yeah, so I just can't bring myself to feel bad for them, because you've literally put yourself in this situation. I mean, I get it. You're doing it to actually get somewhere. I mean, that was what they did to a lot of scientists when they were pushing global warming.
Right. It's like the girls that oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's like the girls that go out on Fridays and Saturday nights dressed up like hookers, and they're like, why is everybody, trying to touch me, trying to grab me and stuff like that? Well, you look like a lady of the night, It's like you may not be a hooker, but you are wearing a hooker's uniform, So what am I supposed to do?
Yep.
So, but sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. It was just one thing I was equating the whole thing to. It's like there has to be a little bit of accountability on the victim side too,
I mean, there's that TV show skit where the blonde ditzy woman's crying because everybody's making fun of her, and she's also so upset. She takes off her shirt, and what does the shirt say? It says sex toy on it. She's like, that's what everyone's saying. It's like, look at what you're wearing, lady. Come on. I mean, I know it's not low cut or anything, but it's basically saying, look at me. And it's like, what do you expect?
Right.
I mean, it's like a cheater getting caught, then 10, 15 years later, all of a sudden they're dealing with consequences, and it's like, oh, this is so unfair. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Or the guy that cheated on his girl is now, getting cheated on by the girl that he cheated with, It's like, well, you kind of got her that way, and that's kind of how you lose her, This is kind of the way the world works, So it's like, maybe if you got together the right way, maybe, it wouldn't have ended the way it did, But it's like, it's the thing is, man, life is all about choices, and there are shortcuts, absolutely, in life, but you got to understand that there is typically a price to pay with those shortcuts, So.
Oh yeah.
But let's got a little bit left of this video.
Right, hit that billion. Hip hop got really suspicious of Jay-Z, and also too, hip hop getting suspicious of Jay-Z is for good reasons. Like, we seen how Jay-Z operated with the NFL, bro. We seen how Jay-Z sold out for $1. So we've already been very suspicious of Jay-Z. And Rock Nation right now is public enemy number one. And because people want to believe these rumors, they want to, believe this, they want this to be true, there's nothing Jay-Z can do to convince the public it's not. Sorry, bruh. All right. There's nothing. Jay-Z can come out and yell to the top of the moon and speak. There's nothing Jay-Z can do to convince us it's not true, because the public wants to believe this is true. Now, Pusha T may have some saving grace here, because Pusha T, for the most part, ain't somebody who's hated. And Pusha T ain't somebody who we are rooting against. And by we, I'm just saying the public. So Pusha T might have some action here. Jay-Z, don't even listen, man. You about to have 1,000 different reaction channels breaking down every photo Jay-Z ever took with Harvey Weinstein, any deals they ever made together, any movies they did together. They about to start breaking down body language. Oh, trust me, bro. Jay is overly cooked.
And Jay-Z was also at them Diddy parties too, man. Unfortunately. So, I mean...
Oh, boy.
I mean, he's got fingerprints everywhere, brother. So, I mean, The rabbit hole is deep, you know, and whether you want to, you know, find out about it, it's like, yeah, it's not gonna be flattering, you know. But you know, think about his origin story. You know, he was selling crack cocaine in the Marcy projects, man. So it's like, I mean, it's not like he had a humble start either, man. I mean,
for him, you know, Camp, you think about it, he started out selling drugs and he got famous. Maybe from his perspective, you know, it's, you know, something like a Diddy party or an Epstein party. That's just Saturday night.
Right. You know,
that's pretty damn twisted, but it could be accurate.
No, absolutely. You know, you go to the highs, you experience these, you know, these crazy parties, you know, and just, you know, you're around all these women and stuff. I can see how that can be very intoxicating and addictive, and you just want to keep chasing that, you know? So,
yeah. Yeah.
Dakota came back. He says, and yet he was still never canceled. Well, I mean, that was a thing I was saying before. You know, like he had kind of the veil of marriage with Beyonce and stuff. You know, they were kind of like the power couple of rap and R&B and stuff. And yeah, dude, it's like that whole public persona and image that he had. You know, like once he married Beyonce, it's like they were just looking at this power couple. You know, like Beyonce, Destiny's Child and stuff, even Beyonce on her own, very successful. You know, both of them have their own respective businesses and stuff, and, you know, very well respected in the rap community in terms of like Jay-Z and stuff. He's like in almost everybody's like top 5, top 3 rappers and stuff, which, you know, that's fine, but you got to be able to divorce like the body of work from the person themselves. I mean, I do the same thing with Kanye. You know, you got to divorce the music from the controversy, you know? And I mean, a lot of people will be like, dude, Kanye West is a genius. He's a genius, yeah, when it comes to making music, absolutely, you know? But he's horrible at PR. You know? In terms of like, you know, this whole public apology that he's doing now, like saying like, oh, look, I apologize to anybody that I might have offended on that last album and stuff. You know, he made like this whole you know, post about it. And I'm just like, I don't believe it, man. Like he had so much conviction, and I'm like, yeah, he probably is apologizing because he lost a lot of, you know, sponsorships and lost a lot of his money like overnight and stuff. They basically freezed all of his accounts, and, you know, like Yeezy dropped him. I'm sorry, Adidas dropped him, whatever. And yeah, it was just like, dude, he went from a billionaire to like canceled overnight, you know? And I honestly think that could happen to Jay-Z too, if more information comes out. But as of right now, this is just speculation, and I'm not here to like, I'm just here to just report the news, you know, and just give my own opinion about it. But like, I really am not gonna say that he's all the way out of the clear with this. You know, I definitely think that Jay-Z potentially could have a lot to do with this. You know, in terms of everything pertaining to the Epstein files, you know. But until more information comes out, I could be wrong. So, but as of right now, it's not looking good. You know, at least for his public image, it's not looking good. He's going to have to do a lot of damage control, or maybe say nothing, you know, and just let the allegations just die down, you know, because sometimes that might be the best move too, to not really just address it and just kind of just act like you don't really care about it. You know, that's one way. That's one approach to take.
Over with. Now, when I surveyed the landscape, right, when I surveyed what people are currently thinking, I'll be real, it sounds like Jay-Z's cooked, bro. Because how people are treating these Epstein files, they're not treating these Epstein files as allegations. They're saying these Epstein files have been hidden for so long that whatever is on these files have to be truth, because why would they hide it for so long? So when your name is wrapped up in these files, kiss your public reputation goodbye, man. People believe these Epstein files are the gospel. And because they believe they're the gospel, bruh, they believe you touch kids, bro. I'm sorry. Hey, man, I hate to be the one who talk. They believe you touch kids, bro. That's just a fact, all right? But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, right?
Yeah, shout out to Flacco on this one, man. But what I will say is that, you know, until more information comes out and a little bit more like confirming evidence against Jay-Z, I'm just going to say he might have done it, you know, allegedly. But as far as, you know, me taking a stance, I mean, I don't support his music. I'm not really a big fan of Jay-Z, but I just think that, yeah, once you get to a certain level, you know, of wealth and stuff, I think it ultimately you become corrupted, and you just want to seek the next step. You want to reach that next level, and that next level is just trying to obtain power, you know, and power control. I think that's kind of like the next logical thing. And unfortunately for a lot of people, you know, Bill Gates and all these other people that are, you know, billionaires, millionaires and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like, you know, you would have this kind of ego that you are kind of invincible and nobody can really tell you what to do because you control all this stuff, you know, all this asset, and you can buy your way out of anything. But at least in the court of public opinion, I don't think anybody can really buy themselves out of that, you know? And especially if you're a public figure, you know, like that really matters to you as a, you know, celebrity or ruling class or government official or something like that. I think, yeah, you really care about your public opinion, you know, and keeping that at least in order. Maybe not squeaky clean, but at least in order to where you're not having so many scandals thrown at you, you know?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, how many people still hate Winston Churchill? There's still a lot who do, even though the man's been dead for well over 50 years.
Yeah. Okay, so
technically it's even worse for Adolf Hitler, but still.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we've kind of seen his rise back to relevancy in the last couple years, just through all these the DEI Nazis going around online. But yeah, the last thing I want to talk about, the last person we're going to cover, is somebody that I've kind of been. I kind of hinted that I was going to talk about him, you know, eventually, and that time has finally come because we had a little bit of a slow week. So we're going to talk about Jesse Lee Peterson finally. The pastor slash troll slash white supremacist kind of I guess lapdog, you know, Uncle Ruckus, if you will. The first video I ever saw of him, he was talking to a woman that was, I believe, an atheist, and it was kind of funny, like the way he like approached her and like questioning her and stuff like that. A lot of asking the same question to kind of like drill the point home about certain things, and you know, like the fact that she's an atheist. He asked her, "Well, you don't believe in any God?" And she's like, no. And he's like, so you don't believe in God at all? And he just kept saying the same thing over again. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, did he have some type of like a mental deficiency? But it turns out that he's just, he'll, by his own words, by his own accounts, he's like, I'm black and I'm slow, you know? And it was kind of funny. And I was like, wow, that's kind of wild. But it's also kind of like, he puts himself down. He puts also a lot of black people down. And, I don't understand why he's being on for as long as he has and hasn't been canceled yet. But so he did. There was a documentary that was done on Jesse Lee Peterson, and he has come out and said that, you know, gay people and trans people are going to hell because their lifestyle is unnatural and, you know, all that stuff. But now it's coming out that when he was starting up his program called Bond, which is building on a new destiny, basically rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. A lot of the men that were in that group were now coming forward years later saying that Jesse Lee Peterson had coaxed them into a gay relationship or was like abusing them, like sexually abusing them when they were like young men. Now they're coming forward and so it's kind of really, really wild. It's kind of like a wild like turn of events because it's like, okay, so this guy, you know, who has such a strong stance, you know, on I guess, you know, Christianity and all that stuff, and then, you know, kind of saying that Christianity is the one true religion and everybody else is like going to hell and stuff. So quick to condemn people to hell. Well, it turns out that he has skeletons in his closet as well. So this is
Cam. This is just another example of the big pastor and his big church, and what do they end up finding out? He's fooling around with a gay prostitute. Yeah. Let's go for round 3. Why don't we?
Decoder came back. He says, "Diddy Lee Peterson." That's a good one. That's a good one, dude.
That's cold. That's cold.
That's a good one.
It's good.
It's very good. All right, so this is the Amazing Disgrace. This is the documentary on Jesse Lee Peterson. Let's exposed as a male groomer and sexual predator.
You may talk about the men of Gideon. Talk about the men of Saul. Don't like the good old days you went. That old Jerry, that moment, don't you get the bad Lord Jericho, Jericho, Lord Jericho, don't you get the bad Lord Jericho, and the whole thing coming down.
I've changed, and I don't have any skeleton in my closet.
You're saying
from
that
the
you're
point
100%
that I changed.
saint now?
I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but I don't do those things.
What a perfect way to open up this documentary. I don't have any more skeletons in my closet.
In the early 1990s, Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson began his ministry as a student of Roy Masters, a British-born talk radio personality and hypnotist. Peterson and Masters promoted a similar system of meditation and theology, a system that includes rejecting the Holy Trinity and our blessed Lord's divinity.
You blame things that you do for somebody else. No.
But thanks to the feckless and spiritually absent bishops, Jesse's theological errors didn't keep him from gaining tens of thousands of Catholic and patriotic followers. Jesse's draw for conservatives was his commentary against the Marxist group Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter, radical, so-called social justice warriors. They were chanting, "What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want it now? Pigs in the blanket, fry them like bacon." And people went out and started killing cops and everything.
Back up! Back up!
Exploiting many angry American men's desires for a stable family life, Jesse would directly call out feminists for their role in destroying the family as well.
Sexism is a made-up lie, and it's been made up by women who hate men, who hate the family, who hate the unborn child.
The 73-year-old even visited the Church Militant studio in March, when senior executive producer Michael Voris answered his questions about Catholicism.
Did Jesus just rise from the dead in spirit, or did his body come out also?
He was, maybe his body came, I don't know. But I know.
Well, that's a big deal.
He rose in the spirit. That's what.
No, he rose in the body.
Why I want to make that.
But he rose in the body. You can't say he didn't walk out of the tomb on Sunday.
And for what we knew at the time, Jesse was an ardent opponent of homosexuality in and outside the church, and presented himself as such.
The spirit of homosexuality is of their father, the devil.
Okay, I want you to look at his t-shirt that he's wearing right now. Stop having sex out of wedlock. Now, Jesse Lee Peterson has a son that he had out of wedlock, and he will claim that he was turned away from God during this time, and that was his reason for having a child out of wedlock, and that now he's gotten right with God and all this stuff, but he still will criticize anybody that has sex out of wedlock. Like, he's like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Weak ass excuse.
That's what I said. I was like, dude, this is like, it's like you did it, but it's okay that you did it because now you are trying to set everybody on the right path. But that doesn't excuse what you did, you know? But he's marketing himself as like, look, I know what is right, and when you're right and you're speaking, and you know the people that are listening and stuff like that, they have no choice but to agree because the truth is always right, you know. And then he's like, God is always right and all that stuff like that. But I'm like, bro, like you have so much that's wrong with your ideology and stuff. Like he doesn't hate black people. Okay, I'm not gonna come out and say that he hates black people, but he does target a lot of black people in terms of his rhetoric, and it almost seems like he is just like a lapdog for white supremacy with a lot of his talking points. I think they're going to say some of it here, but or they might focus on just like the whole homosexuality thing, but like I hope they do talk about this, because I haven't seen this. This is like a first time watching it, but I do hope they do touch.
Sound like Uncle Ruckus?
Oh, I have I have a clip where he's talking with I can't remember his name, dude. If you type in Lee Peterson, Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube, there is a interview he does with Tariq Nasheed, and he does sound like Uncle Ruckus.
Oh, geez, that's bad.
Yeah, he gets compared to Uncle Ruckus all the time, and he's actually won the Coon Award like 2 times. Because I think he was in like the running with like a couple other people and stuff. But yeah, he's won the Coon Award for being like the biggest coon on radio. So yeah, kind of funny.
It's not them, the person. It's the spirit that made a home in them. And it came from them overreacting to some sort of a situation in life, whether it's from someone messing with them when they were kids, or overreacting to an angry mother, because you become like what you hate.
But that was his common like talk point, was that you gotta forgive your mother because your mother was the one who turned you away from your father, and when you can forgive your mother, then you can go about your life in like, you know, the right way or something like that, because you've sorted that. But they're like, you know, he loves to talk about how real men don't get angry. He's like, if you have any anger in you, it's because you have problems with your mother. It's never the father. It's so wild. No, I know, but the thing is it's so funny, like how, like he's had everybody on. He's had, I think even Zerka's been on there talking to him. He's had, what's his face? Fuck, I can't think of the people's name. There's a lot of people. He's talked to a lot of people. And he does do a podcast with Playing with Fire, and Playing with Fire, the guy that does that show, he is going to kind of bring up this documentary that we're watching right now. And you're going to see how Jesse Lee Peterson reacts to that. I keep wanting to say Diddy Lee Peterson because of Decoder, what he said. I keep reading it. I keep saying, but it's going to get pretty wild.
Shortly after the March interview, friends of his came to us with a different story.
Like Uncle Ruckus, a little bit or at all?
Oh, just the idea, like, okay, so I mean, once you see him talk down about black people, and he's going to talk down about himself, you will see it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
These stories first came to light when Jesse...
Hey, who does that remind you of? Anybody?
Damn. You had to put Myron in my head, didn't you?
I didn't say Myron. I just said, does that remind you of anybody? But here you go.
Yeah, that does.
This nigga's a homosexual.
Jesse's former co-host and alleged decade-long gay lover exposed him. 61-year-old
decade-long. Okay.
Patrick Rooney has known Jesse for nearly 30 years, dating back to roughly 1992.
Everybody know Patrick Rooney, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven.
The two were so close that Jesse was the minister at his wedding and the pastor at his baptism, long before Rooney claimed any homosexual activities began.
Right around that time, I also had started a TV show. I was doing a public access TV show in LA, and with a friend of mine who had gotten off heroin and wanted to, he asked me to be involved in the show to help other people get off drugs and things like that. So we started a show, and one of our first guests was Jesse and another gentleman from Bond. So we did a couple shows with them. And from that time forward, right after the show happened, Jesse and I talked in the green room, backstage. And right off the bat, he started asking me stuff. Jesse's very forward with his questioning and things like that. So he actually asked me right after that show, are you gay?
Rooney's characterization shows that Jesse...
So it seems like Jesse was fishing. He was just, putting a line out.
Allegedly used similar groom...
Hello? Are you still there?
Still here, Camp. Hold on.
Okay, I thought your mic got low. So you're good.
Grooming tactics as other homo predators, like Saginaw priest Father Robert DeLand, who asked similar questions when preying on a young man in 2017.
To discover that you have some gay tendencies is a fine thing, because then you don't have to be so confused.
Right.
Do you feel less confused?
Do you? Yeah.
After Jesse discovered Rooney's same-sex attraction, his relationship with Jesse was taken to the next level.
Jesus, man, it's almost like you can see, like Myron has been in a similar position with Eric, his rowing mate in college. It almost have like the similar picture to this. It's just so wild, dude.
Bit by bit, Jesse began edging him closer and closer to sin.
Once he moved up there to do the show, we stayed in the same house. Jesse would kind of do some things, kind of horseplay and stuff like that with me. And at times he would do stuff where he would like grab me and then we'd kind of wrestle around a little bit. And then I'd feel his, private parts against me.
This nigga's a homosexual.
And he did that more than once. So it wasn't like an accidental thing. He would kind of do it. And then I even mentioned it like, what's that or whatever. And he would kind of play around and joke.
He'd be like,
no, I could care less
about it.
Fast forward to 2005, and Jesse was ready to make his final move.
We did a conference with them called Moral Reconstruction, which is kind of ironic now that we're sitting here talking about something else. It's called Moral Reconstruction. We did that. That first conference was, I believe, in 2005, and we did a follow-up conference in 2006 with them as well. And I went with Jesse to Washington, D.C. For this conference. I was a fundraiser at the time. And so we did fundraising, and I was part of the conference. While we were at the conference, we stayed in Virginia, near DC. So we were sitting on the bed together, and all of a sudden he turned to me, just looked at me, and he said, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And he said it in a tone that was really insistent. And I'd never seen this tone from him before. It was like kind of scary. It kind of scared me. Like what? What do you want to do? I knew what he meant, and then I told him, okay. And at first I'm scared, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing along here. It kind of threw me off my game, I guess, in a way. I think later I realized that's kind of something that people do sometimes. It's like the devil works in a certain way by intimidating you, and it throws you off your normal game. And so he said, "What do you want to do?" And he was like, "Okay, I'm scared." And then I told him what I want to do. I mentioned sex acts, that he knew about, that I had already talked to him about, that I was interested in. And next thing you know, he's ripping his clothes off and coming at me, basically. And I did the same, took my clothes off. And next thing you know, we're fully at it, having, not getting into detail here, but basically full-on sexual acts.
Rooney's...
Damn. Not the picture, not the mental picture I needed to hear. That's just like, ugh.
No.
But, Jesse Lee Peterson has been like 58 for over 30 years, So, like, I just can't imagine the, I guess maybe the whole, brotherhood of bond and stuff, bringing men together to, like, rebuild them and stuff like that. How he was kind of using it as a cover for like the little gay grooming that he was doing. It's just like, you got these vulnerable men that are just trying to, pick their lives up, whatever, and make themselves, better, stronger men for their community and stuff. And it's just a big hoax for Jesse Lee Peterson to get his rocks off. It's kind of wild to me, dude.
Recollect twisted all at the same time.
Yeah. Very fucking twisted. But, I'm glad that, this came forward. But you think about it, how Jesse Lee Peterson, like, attacks black people. It's like, dude, black people had nothing to do with this. Like, it was the white people that exposed you. So why do you have all this smoke for black people? It's kind of wild.
Actions show that Jesse mirrored DeLand's sexual advances almost identically.
I love you. Love it too. I know. What are we going to do? I don't know. No, what are we going to do, really?
Rooney's description shows that after their sexual encounter, Jesse began intertwining his private homosexualism with blasphemy.
After we had just done this first sexual act, And then ever since then, he told me that once we did this, I was born again. This sounds crazy, but this is the absolute truth. He said that I was born again. He would remind me of that through the years.
Following being born again, Rooney contends that his sodomitic relationship with Peterson went on for roughly 10 years, until Rooney decided to come clean to his wife and son.
My son was really angry. My son was mostly angry at me because he had Jesse on such a pedestal. My son had Jesse on such a pedestal, he literally thought Jesse could walk on water.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, like Jesse Lee Peterson, man, that's the guy you put on a pedestal? Oh, I'd have to like reschool my son if my son came to me with that. Like, no, this guy's really making some sense, dude. I'd be like, nah, man, you just like take all your devices away, go to your room, and we're just gonna start over, man. Because that's crazy, dude. Like Jesse Lee Peterson, it's like I knew like immediately when I like first heard him, I was like, this guy's absurd. Like he's a rage baiter, troll, but he has like this whole like pastor game and stuff to where like he tries to like, you know, speak in riddles and stuff like that, and then like he kind of uses like the Bible as kind of like something to kind of beat people over the heads with, whatever, anybody that had like an alternative lifestyle, and especially gay people, especially people that were, you know, that didn't fit into the natural mold, you know, normal mode or whatever you want to call it, you know, just people that were alternative lifestyle. You know, like he just completely had all this smoke for him when really behind closed doors he was just like them, man. It was just like he hated himself so much. That's why he lashed out at those people.
We got on a phone call.
Which also makes sense why he lashes out at black people, because he's a black person. So he hates his own skin. So it all kind of comes full circle.
We talked to Jesse, and as soon as we brought it up with my son on the phone call, Jesse denied it. And I said, Jesse, you're a liar. You're lying. You know you're lying. And he finally came out and admitted to my son that he did that.
Rooney later moved to Florida to get away from Jesse, but according to Rooney, Jesse couldn't handle the relationship ending, offering him several bribes to get him back to LA. It's typical for homo predators to try and cover their tracks using a cornucopia of strategies to shut people up. In the case of Father DeLand, it was now deceased Saginaw Bishop Joseph Sistone, who remained silent on DeLand's abuse for years. While serving as an auxiliary bishop in Philadelphia in 1994, Sistone allegedly watched as documents containing names of up to 64 suspected sex abusers were shredded, earning him the nickname Bishop Shredder among the U.S. bishops. According to Rooney, for Jesse and those loyal to him, the strategy was to bully and silence all victims and witnesses speaking up.
Jesse did throw me under the bus, basically, other people that did anything like that, and still does. If anybody comes up with it, they'll keep anybody off the air.
You're talking about other victims?
Well, yeah, other victims. And he'll make sure that if anybody talks about these things, calls up his show or does anything like that, they were not going to get through on show.
Patrick explained how easy it was for Jesse to discredit victims, given Bond's history of seeking out troubled young men.
A lot of the people that Jesse brings around him are troubled young men, right? Have drug problems, right? Some of them been in jail. So it's pretty easy to discredit a guy who's been on drugs, maybe in jail or something like that. It's pretty rotten thing to do.
Beginning last November, Rooney began writing a collection of blog posts hinting at Jesse's predation, leading him to a shocking discovery.
After I published these articles, I found out from a young man, a very credible young man, that Jesse was fooling around with this young man.
That young man was 30-year-old Samuel Arambula, a more recent member of Bond and Jesse's latest known purported victim.
I started going to Bond around May 2020.
2020.
This was during the coronavirus lockdowns, everything. As soon as they opened back, they were doing live broadcasted, no in-person church for like 2 months or 2 weeks or something like that. But as soon as it opened up, I went. That was May 2020. Jesse, what he likes to do in the church is he goes around first-timers. He goes around first-timers and says, introduce yourself, what's your name, you know, how'd you find us, where are you here? The first thing I said, my name is Samuel, and I'm here because, you know, you helped me a lot. I went and forgave my mom. I went and forgave my dad. I had a lot of anger, and I just dropped that, and I feel way better now. I'm really, you know, growing, and I want to thank you for it.
Among him are 3 other alleged witnesses and victims who also chose to tell their stories.
But do you see like how the way he would coax people in is by giving out these like kind of truisms about life? You know, it's like, look, if you have this trauma with your parents and stuff, if you go back and as an adult and forgive your parents and stuff, you let go of that trauma. It's like, that's something that to anybody that doesn't understand psychology and just how like trauma can, you know, form the personality of someone. Once you remove that trauma, yeah, it does feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. But for someone to hear that didn't know that was, you know, the way to do it, they're gonna be like grateful to the person that, you know, gave them that information. So it's like he used that as a way to kind of coax people in, you know, to bring them towards him. And dude, it's like, it's sick, man. It's so crazy. It's like he's doing something, he's saying something good, but he's doing something bad as a result, you know? So as the person's coming there to thank him, he's like, well, look, man, I'd like to thank you for coming today. Cause, yeah, he's like, I got something I need you to take care of. Oh man, it's bad. It's real bad. I shouldn't be laughing because this is people's trauma and stuff like that, but it's messed up, man. It's like nobody can just tell him no. It's like, come on now. It seems like an easy answer.
Samuel began his relationship with Jesse professionally, washing cars for him and doing other cleaning work at what they call the Bond House. The Bond House is where Jesse and several of his male staff currently live. And when Samuel began opening up to Jesse about his past, things got personal.
I was molested as a boy, so I was like, Jesse, what do I do? Like, this is weighing heavy on me. What should I do? He said, forgive him, it's in the past. Our relationship progressed slowly, closer and closer. I didn't suspect anything weird of it. There were certain times where he began hugging me where I was like, whoa, I've never been hugged by a man. Like, what was this? But I was like, this is, I get, he would just tell me like, you know, I just love you. So I'm like, okay, I get you, you know, I love you too.
But, much like with Patrick Rooney, Samuel states things went from casually close to mortally sinful.
So a Friday afternoon, evening, I go to Jesse's house and I am sitting in his couch, relaxing, you know, I'm kind of avoiding the LA traffic at the peak hour. So it's a good deal, and I get to stay somewhere with someone that I respect, friend. So then, by this point, we're already real comfortable with like hugging and all that stuff, you know, just hugging for long periods of time. I thought nothing weird of it. I guess my guard had already been let down completely. So I'm sitting in this couch, he kneels down in front of me, and then he wraps himself around, his arms around my waist. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird, but I'm like, Jesse, why are you doing that? He's like, I just love you so much. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I was just like this. So then,
that is where you tell him to stop, that I am not down with this. It's like, what is stopping these people
this
from
is where you say no?
You're like, hey, like, I don't get down like that, dude. Like, it just, like, where is your voice? You know, if this guy's helping you become, you know, more focused as an individual, you know, helping you get through your traumas, and you know, you're starting to like realize like what it means to be a man and stuff like that, and like, you know, taking on a responsibility and just, you know, just being a better man. It's like, you think you would be able to know right from wrong, you know, like, no, I'm on the straight path here, you know? So it's like, why wouldn't you stop that? I don't know. I don't get it.
And he starts rubbing my thighs, and I'm like, okay, what is he doing? Like, it's kind of crazy. And then he starts rubbing my genital area. And I'm like, what's happening right now?
Why are you saying what's happening right now? Just be like, yo, stop, bro. Like, what are you doing? Get up and leave, man. It's like, that's what any normal person would do. Okay. And, you know, I get it. You probably had I mean, he said he had that past of being, you know, molested and stuff like that, whatever. But Jesse told him to go and forgive the guy, whatever, and get over it. And now he's the one doing it. I'm sorry, man. Got to jump off the train here.
Oh, and then he pulls down my pants, and then I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm not saying anything. I'm like, my face is like, whoa, what the hell is happening right now?
From there, Jesse instructed Samuel to go into his so-called meditation called the silent prayer.
And he's like, doubt all thoughts. All thoughts are lies.
Go into the silent prayer. Oh shit. That was Jesse's way of getting you to close your eyes. That's not good, dude. Oh, Jesse.
This nigga's a homosexual.
That's not what we don't get down like that.
Holy cow.
That's crazy.
Was it a soundproof room too? Holy cow.
And the dude is like, okay, he's 30 at this point, okay? So 30 years old, you kind of know what kind of man you are, you know? I mean, I would argue to say you kind of know what kind of man you are at like 25, you know? But 30? And you're just like, you're acting like a kid for like, it was like he got like transported back to when he was a little kid and he had no control, you know? This whole story sounds crazy to me. I don't know. For me, it's just like, dude, I don't see why you couldn't have stopped it. You could have totally stopped it.
Because everything Satan is telling you is a lie.
And I'm like, he went there for help, so he's just like, what is this? This doesn't seem right.
Right, but I don't know. It's like, how many stop signs do you need to go through before you realize, okay, wait, this is not what I want to do. I have a choice, right? I have a choice in the matter. Like, what the heck, you know? I don't know. To me, it's like I would have stopped it immediately, you know? I mean, yeah. If it was me, I would have never followed that guy, but whatever.
Okay, but inside it's telling me, hey, this is not good. What are you doing?
You gotta listen to those intrusive thoughts, especially as a man. I mean, not every intrusive thought, but like, you know, you should know right from wrong. And when, you know, the siren is going off in your head and be like, look, I'm extremely uncomfortable with this. I've never had a gay experience, and I just never swung that way. And now it's happening. You need to get out, you know, like you should be seeing red. You should be wanting to like push your way out of there and, you know, and just get out, escape.
What are you allowing him to do?
Samuel describes Jesse abusing the supposed meditative state, trying to convince Samuel to ignore the traumatic sexual experience occurring.
It went on for a few minutes. He would get up, walk away. I could hear him. I couldn't see him. Get up. He would get up, walk away. I could hear him get up, walk away, touch it, get up, walk away, touch it. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So then I opened my eyes, and then I'm like, what just happened?
Another alleged victim was...
I don't know, man. This whole, like, I don't know what happened. It just seems, it seems like he might be lying a little bit. I think he knew exactly what happened. You know? I don't think he was so confused and so, like, in shock that he didn't know what was going on, you know? To put so much trust in somebody like this. I mean, yeah, this guy, you looked at him like as someone who helped you, you know? Gave you a lot of good advice, but then he turns around and do this. I mean, you would almost immediately feel that betrayal of your trust and immediately act, I would think, but maybe not.
Trayvon Chapman, who in 2015 told his friend, now 43-year-old Armand Martikian, that Jesse molested him.
Well, the first thing came out of his mouth, that Jesse's homosexual. And I say, you know, you can't be saying this, you know, like he's all against it. He's a, you know, straight conservative man who, you know, this is like, what you're saying is bizarre, you know, it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, it kind of struck me as a truth. What this guy was saying, he was explaining the incidents, like certain acts that they would do. They had some nicknames. Jesse had nicknames for it, you know. Say, instead of telling what the act is, he named it oral massage, according to Trayvon.
Armand tried to tell Jesse.
Oh god damn it, dude! Look at the guy in the second seat when he called when the guy the dude said oral massage. That's crazy, bro. The guy in the the guy in the second seat, he's just like the guy in the second seat. He has the exact thought that I'm having. He's just like, ah. What's the guy in the second seat?
Say, instead of telling what the act is, he named it oral massage, according to Trayvon.
Armand tried to tell Jesse what Trayvon said.
Oral massage.
Oh my God, dude. The guy in the second seat was just like, oh, dude, how stupid are you?
He just dismissed it.
I went to Jesse. I said, Jesse, I bumped into Trayvon, and he was talking bad things about you. The moment I said that, his first response was, oh, he's on drugs. When he said he's on drugs, shivers went down my spine, like, uh-oh, aren't you going to ask what he said about me?
Trayvon has since disappeared. None of the men have any idea of his current whereabouts.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it's not.
Do you think he might have had him whacked or something? You know, cement shoes, possibly.
I mean, it's not impossible, but you know, sometimes when people feel like they're in a cult situation, they go up for that one breath of air, like, oh crap, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Some people just run, and they run to the other side of the country until they feel safe.
Yeah. I mean,
I've heard of people doing it, but I don't know if that's the case here. I mean, I hope it's the case here.
I hope it's the case as well, that he just got away, you know, and the black guy's like, look, I've seen a lot of horror movies. I'm not dying in this one.
They assume he's still somewhere in LA. After this encounter, Armand began questioning his own relationship with Jesse.
And then I had a flashback. Back in the day, it was such an insignificant thing that it never stayed in my memory, but for some reason, the flashback had when I was in a private counseling. He kind of gestured me, let me see down there, pointing at referring to my, down there as in my privates. Not knowing what was about, I'm at very late teens at that moment, like kind of got tricked into it, pulled my pants forward where he kind of looked at it. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, maybe he's trying to see if I'm shy, he's trying to help me overcome shyness, because I was a little shy, I didn't know what to make of it. I remember saying, if somebody sees us from outside, they're going to think we're gay, I said.
You think so? No, I mean, the whole, it seems like Jesse was very direct with a lot of these guys, dude. And just saying this stuff is just, it's crazy, man, how these guys just didn't pick up on it, He said late teens, so I'm thinking like 17, 18. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure, like, at that point, you're like, no, dude, like, I'm straight. Like, I'm good. You're not a doctor, okay? It's like, what the hell? What are you going to say to me?
Later, I looked back, thought that the fact that I said if somebody sees us, they're going to think we're gay, he kind of probably thought that, okay, he's too aware, I'm not going to advance any longer.
He talked his way out of some sexual assault, man. Good job, man. He didn't realize what he just did.
Former Bond House manager, 50-year-old Robert Santner, alleges he witnessed similarly strange behavior in 2021 between Jesse and current Bond producer James Hake.
What I witnessed.
Okay, so James Hake has the Hake Report on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He's still currently his co-host. So,
Seriously?
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Him and Jesse were hugging each other intensely. Rubbing each other's shoulder down stuff, and he came to a point where I actually saw him kissing him on the cheek and stuff on the hallway, and talking all kinds. I can't remember what the words he said, but there were a lot of giggling in the hallway in his James took and then there was even one time that just really shocked the living hell out of me. Is I went to the laundry room stuff. I mean, after I took the laundry out. And then when I got out, and there was a door open in Jesse's room, and there I saw Jesse was sitting in the bed, and while James Hake was wrapped around bed sheets, completely around like a burrito with his head sticking out. And Jesse was like embracing him and hugging him and stuff, and then kissing him on the forehead. And I was like, hey, are you all right?
Hake, to this day, is an ardent defender of Jesse and his ministry, essentially helping him ostracize all the men accusing Jesse of homo predation. Santner also described an incident where Jesse attempted grooming him to see if he was a homosexual.
Like there was one night, okay, I was all by myself. It was like late at night after I came home from work. I was in the kitchen, you know, doing my own thing and stuff. And then suddenly there was Jesse appeared on the doorway, leaning against the doorway with his hand underneath his underpants. And he was like slowly massaging himself and was giving me a look, and I turned around and says, "What the heck are you doing?" And he was like giving me a smile and giggle and stuff, and then walked away.
Damn, dude. Jesse Lee Peterson is a fucked up individual. That's crazy, dude.
That is pretty twisted, Camp, not gonna lie.
And, you know, to have like this whole show that he has, you know, where he's basically just, he takes the position of like a religious, you know, preacher and all this stuff, and he preaches to people like what is right and all this stuff, and how you can like heal from being gay and, you know, change that and all that stuff. And it's just wild to me, like, that he has all this shit going on.
Another witness is Martin Francis, who's largely been leading the charge against Jesse's purported homopredation. He describes himself as one of Jesse's best friends. You may recognize Francis from a video with Jesse arguing with a Univision reporter at a Prop 187 rally in Los Angeles in 1996, a rally opposing the flood of illegal aliens entering the state.
Are you all right?
Are you okay? Oh, I'm feeling better than ever.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Are you racist?
Am I what?
What are you think of these people now? Why? Why you stay
She
here?
said, are you racist? Am I racist?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a racist. Why do you ask that?
But since learning of Jesse's dark secret, Francis has led several protests against Peterson's homosexuality outside of the Bond studio. Jesse was confronted by him several times this year and refused to address any of the accusations of him preying on young men at Bond. Here's a video of Francis from March, facing off with him at what appears to be the post office across the street from the Bond studio.
Oh, that's nice. He wants me to tell them how I was sleeping with my brother's wife. That's fine. But Jesse, why will you not speak on your homosexual behaviors?
Francis confronted him again in the back of the building with Armand Martikian in February, capturing it all on video.
Jesse Peterson, I've known you for 25 years personally. Will you come? See, he's not coming over to me. Will you at least stand there where you feel safe and talk to me? Stand up on your porch with the door open and shout out to me. Why won't you talk to me? I've known you for 25 years. I've accused you of heinous things, and you will not talk to me. You coward!
Francis admits there were also a few clues that should have revealed Jesse was a homosexual, long before he ever found out.
He wanted to see if I was willing to have a homosexual relationship with him, of course, because that's what he was all about. He was about putting out feelers there and seeing who he could have sex with.
I'm starting to notice a pattern here in terms of like Jesse Lee Peterson's taste in men. And are you familiar with Jesse Lee Peterson's name of Donald Trump?
I can't.
He calls him the Great White Hope.
Ew.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, dude. But no, I mean, I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but no, he's all about his white men, dude. He loves his white men, it seems like. So,
Gee, it sounds like he and Myron would be good friends.
yeah, they'd be able to trade some stories, it sounds like.
And it didn't work with me because I had not been molested as a boy. And so eventually I told him, look, Jesse, I'm just an angry guy, and I don't like these long hugs and all this stuff we're doing, you know, at night.
And did he stop?
Where he would come into my bed and just lay with me, you know.
He would come into your bed and just lay with you?
Yes. And at one time even like put his hand underneath my underwear to go toward my genitals, right? He never got there because he could see I wasn't getting excited. So he never got there. He just like at the edge, you know, because you got to invite the vampire in, is what they say in the vampire movies. And it's sort of true with even psychic vampires like Jesse. And so he would do those kind of tricks or put his hand around my back and up on my chest and be hugging and all that kind of stuff, just to see if maybe I could get, and asking me if, how does it feel? And it feels good, right? And all that kind of stuff. And I would meekly answer, yeah, it feels good. But only because when you're under that kind of pressure, you just give the answer that he wants, but you're really like wanting to get the heck out of there. You're like ready to fly out of there like a bat out of hell.
This is what I don't understand. It's like, why don't you go with that second feeling that you're having, you know, initially? Like, why this whole like submit to his control kind of situation? Why wouldn't you just naturally do what you feel you want to do, which is get the hell out of there? You know,
it's hard to say. I mean,
I don't know, dude.
Considering that that when you give somebody power over you, you know, it's
a slippery slope.
Not slippery slope, but in cases of like the Manson family, you know, it took just for them to just for like one of them to come forward about the whole thing with Sharon Tate.
Mm-hmm.
It took the one who actually broke. It took her to realize that because she had seen what happened, that she was next on the list, his list to keep people quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she ran. So I mean, it is a slippery slope, yes, but we also have to take into consideration, you know, am I next? Or if I don't submit, am I going to be made to disappear? You know, there is a fear.
I guess.
I mean, there is the fear of loss of life there. I'm not saying it excuses like, hey, you should have, you know, been strong enough to walk away. No, I'm saying,
right.
You know, when you give somebody that kind of control over you, doesn't bode well.
No, not at all. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like his mind is telling him something, but his body is doing something else. You know, his body is like, maybe they're like biding time to make the right move or something when the time is right, you know, slip out of the bed when Jesse falls asleep or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, this is crazy, dude.
Jesse appears to have used every dirty trick in the book to silence him, allegedly trying to have Francis arrested for violating an unserved restraining order.
I will go back to Phoenix and chill out with the relatives like I was doing before, and I'll be back on the 25th.
Okay.
25th,
Fortunately for you, this was in a sealed envelope today. If it hadn't been,
Yes.
you would have been going to
Yes. If it was already served, you had already seen this, you would be going to jail.
Church militant asked every single victim and witness if they thought Jesse would continue sexually preying on men, and they all had the same answer.
Well, yeah.
I would say yes.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind.
There's no doubt that there's current victims.
I think for sure.
Does a predator in the wild stop stalking its prey just because it may have noticed?
Does its hunger ever get satiated? You know, I don't think so. I think he's just looking for younger cubs, you know? Kind of wild, dude. So that was pretty much the documentary. Shout out to 21 Studios. Now, we're not going to watch the next clip. We're not going to watch the whole clip, but this is basically playing with fire, interviewing Jesse Lee Peterson, and he basically rage quits the debate as soon as he starts asking questions, and basically just asking him about this whole documentary and also the other allegations and stuff of, you know, the sexual gay predation and stuff he was doing to all these young men. So let's go to it real quick. Make sure it's
boom. What up, guys? We are live. So the debate that you guys have been asking for is here. We got Jesse Lee Peterson joining us. So appreciate you being here, Jesse. So let's start off with a very quick introduction for anyone who's not familiar with who you are. Just explain who you are and what you do.
I have a nonprofit organization that I've been running for the last 32 years. And we have been rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Bringing back the order of God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. We also have, we counsel, we have an entrepreneur academy. where we are helping young men and
He
older men
doesn't even
to start.
sound like a black man.
Well, that's one thing that you'll see when he is talking to white men. He puts on this type of tone in his voice, but when he talks to like he had some Hebrew Israelites on his show. He has rappers on his show. He's had Tariq Nasheed, people that are part of the whole Pan-African movement. I don't think he's had the other guy. What's his name? The guy that's trying to build the school, that's been building the school forever. I can't remember his name, but he's also a Pan-Africanist. Can't think of his name right now. I think maybe somebody in the chat will know. He hasn't had him on yet, but as far as like Tariq Nasheed and all the other FBAs and stuff, yeah, he'll take on a certain type of like coon tone, which is kind of like a he'll talk like a racist black man basically, but he'll only do it to black people. It's really wild.
Businesses that are part of the academy. We started a credit union so we can loan them the money because some of them have bad credit, so especially young guys. So we loan them the money, they pay it back with interest. We have a men's forum every first Thursday night of the month, and for ladies only every third Thursday night of the month, and Sunday morning for everybody, where we're dealing with all the kind of issues that they are dealing with, and counseling and all that kind of stuff. So we're pretty busy.
Cool, man. Cool.
Also, we do a podcast, JesseLeePeterson.com and the Fallen State TV, FallenState.tv.
Cool. Yeah. So I was on Jesse's show a few months ago. It was a good discussion. I think it went better than both of us thought it was.
No, it was amazing.
It was amazing. Amazing.
One of his catchphrases.
Amazing.
But yeah, so my format is
coming on, by the way.
Yeah, dude, it was a good convo. Now my format is a little different than yours. Yours is kind of more like intense interview style. Mine is more of a debate format. So I'm not going to ask you like too many questions in a row. It's just we're going to flesh out certain topics. So the topic I wanted to start off with, which I think where you and I largely disagree on, is premarital sex. So you say that premarital sex is bad. So my question is, why is it bad?
It's bad in the sense that
you're familiar with Playing with Fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, he's basically this pickup artist, whatever, and his whole thing is, picking up women, trying to sleep with as many women as possible, and all that stuff. So premarital sex is, not a thing that he deems as a bad thing, whereas Jesse has this very strong stance on it.
It become like a drug to men.
So he's a pickup artist from the 2000s. What a champ.
Well, he likes to host these debates on his channel now where he has a lot of people come on and kind of do like speed dating, and it gets pretty awkward, pretty cringe, pretty quick. So
women are sex dealers and men are sex addicts. And so when you start having sex, it causes you to become emotional and feel needy, like you really need the woman to make you feel good. And you lose sense of consciousness, and it's no different than smoking pot or doing drugs. You become addicted to it, where all your attention is focused. Most of your attention
Sex
is focused on.
addiction is real, but the way he's describing it is incorrect.
Yeah, it's kind of like a guy that doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's just kind of speaking like he's on the outside talking about it.
Because last time I checked, sexual addiction, it's not the psychological side of it, but the physical side is you're so addicted to that dopamine rush from that you just got to have it as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a reason why they say men who are box whipped are the weakest men out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I mean,
the chronic masturbators, and I would say Fresh would probably fall into that group of just people that are not groomers, but coomers. Just like always looking to just smash and always looking to just get his rocks off, dude. And doesn't care about much else. you know, by any means necessary.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, in some aspects, it's worse than being an alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah.
Sex, rather than getting to know her and she getting to know you, it become like a drug. She become the drug dealer, you become the drug addict. And
That's
so
not
you
how
tend
drug
to
addiction works.
I don't think Jesse's ever done any drugs. So I think that's kind of another outside perspective. Like he imagines it a lot worse than it actually is, or he just doesn't understand it at all, you know? Because he doesn't have any experience. So he doesn't really have a frame of reference to really be speaking of.
Well, Cam, addiction works by triggering the dopamine reaction in the brain. And, you know, talking about sex as a drug, I mean, you could say that dating is a drug in the same way he's describing it, because there are people out there who chase that thrill and excitement of the honeymoon phase. But once the honeymoon phase is over, they're looking for their next honeymoon phase.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Yep.
Yeah, what he's describing is not actual addiction. What he's describing is somebody who has who doesn't have like any impulse control or any concept of sometimes the long road is where you want to go.
Mhm.
I mean, sure, do you want to be a guy who settles down early a little bit? Yeah, but you know, one of the things that I regret from being a dad at the age of 18 is that when I got divorced, we had a lot of money saved up for kids to do stuff with, and now I don't even think I'm gonna be able to save up enough for them to, here's 25,000 for college. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that for any of my kids.
Mm. I mean, I think, getting together early and having kids and stuff at such an early age. Yeah. I mean, I think it is it is a detriment long term, because I mean, you're still coming into your own as a man, and still in the process of building yourself up. But then, you can't really do that and go so hard, because, you gotta take that time to be a father,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do kind of agree that, you should definitely, take the time to build yourself up, and I mean, don't take forever, don't be like in your 40s and stuff, and you're like, all right, now I'm ready to, settle down. I mean, I think it's good and healthy. There really shouldn't be an age attached to it. It should just be whenever you are ready, to financially take that on and stuff. I mean, I understand accidents happen. Accidents happen all the time, and a lot of children are brought into this world, completely by accident, but people make it work,
Yeah.
So it's the people that I think that are scumbags that, run away from the responsibilities, and they just chalk it up that, oh, I just wasn't ready. I'm like, no, you're selfish. You were selfish and you were reckless. And, I think those are the worst kind of people. These are the people that are doing 100 miles per hour on the interstate, not giving a crap about anybody else on the road, just living that whole main character lifestyle, So,
Yeah.
But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, so that's why I was just like, he's not describing this properly at all. It's like, dude, what the heck?
It's like it's like the 40-year-old virgin describing what it feels like to touch a woman's breast for the first time. It's like a bag of sand, You're like, what?
Yeah,
like,
no.
do you
I mean,
know what you're
if a
talking about?
woman, yeah, I've seen the 40-year-old virgin, and if it's like, dude, if that's what it feels like, there's something wrong. That's not
right.
how a woman's breast is supposed to feel. I mean, if it's firm, it's firm. If it's soft, it's soft. But
A bag of sand is very distinct.
Yeah,
So I was like, wait a minute, what?
That sounds like sounds like she has cancer or something.
Or you're just observing another man hold a woman's breast, and you're just like, I can only imagine what that feels. Maybe it's like a bag of sand. I don't know. It's still pretty funny, because it's, you have no experience, but you're trying to describe something that you have no experience with.
trying to find that fix again. So you really don't see who you're about to marry or who you're involved with.
Jesse, so what if you have sex in moderation and you don't get needy? Would it be okay in that circumstance?
If you were able to have sex in moderation, but men are not able to have sex in moderation because when they don't have it, they feel like something is missing or they feel unloved. So they feel like they gotta have it. And women know that. And so women use sex to control the man. Sex and food. She knows that you are addicted to her for the sex. And so she'll use that against you by not giving it to you, which makes you want it more or controlling you with it. So it's no such thing as doing it in moderation.
Well, what if you can do it in moderation? Like me, for example, I have sex in moderation, right? I'm not addicted to sex. I have sex twice a week. I don't need it. I don't really care, but it's fun for me to do it. So for someone like me who can have sex in moderation, would you then say it's okay?
Well, I can, if you could go without it for a year, then you can do it in moderation. But if you can't go without it, there's no such thing as moderation.
But why would I want to go without it for a year?
Because you want to have self-control. You want to be addicted to anybody or anything that you can't do without.
Well, it's like saying, why don't you go a year without hanging out with your friends? I could do it, but I like my friends and I like spending time with them. It's a key part of the human experience is bonding with other people. And another key part of the human experience is having sex. So yeah, I could go a year without talking to my friends. I just don't want to. It's the same thing with sex. I could do it. I just don't want to. There's no reason. There's nothing that it benefits me. If you give me $10 million to not have sex for a year, I'll do it. But unless there's a strong incentive, why would I want to do it?
How about to do it so that you will have
A
self-control?
psychologist might diagnose playing with fire as getting close to addiction, but saying, "Oh, I'll take 10 million to not do it." I mean, dude, where's your sense of control?
Right. I don't know. I mean, I think that's another thing in terms of, he can't be alone, for too long without feeling like his self-worth is kind of like taking a hit. Like he needs to have that validation. Possibly he might have that type of psychology, with women and stuff that he has to like seek female approval, and always kind of be with a different woman and always kind of be like in that scene and stuff. So he can feel like, he's a real man and stuff. And, I guess basically going monk mode and, not having sex and just completely focusing on whatever he's trying to achieve in life. He might be able to achieve it faster without having that distraction, but maybe he's at that balance in his life where he's like, I'm not really trying to, be a millionaire. I'm not trying to, do all these crazy, juggling all these types of things. Maybe I'm just trying to have a comfortable life, and be out in the dating scene and just chasing that honeymoon phase. Maybe that's enough for him. That could be the case. There's a lot to it. The fact that he's been doing it for so long, his content is centered around this. It's almost kind of like, he's going to probably ride until the wheels come off,
Yeesh.
I would think. I was gonna say. I would
until his thing falls off, one or the other.
There's that too. I think that. Yeah, I think eventually, it probably would get boring though. To just constantly, doing that. But I don't know. For some people, man. I mean, actually, as far as playing with fire, I do understand that he said he claims to be in a one-sided open relationship where it's open on his side, but he has been exposed that his girl has slept with other men and while they were still together, which would make him a cuck. And he's like, look, it's okay. Like they did like swinger parties kind of thing. Just try it out. And yeah, it's just kind of wild. I don't know if he's still with this girl anymore, but that was just one aspect. I'm going to keep going, though. Gotta get to that part.
Why do you need to bond with friends or anyone? There is no reason. As a matter of fact, I would advise you not to bond with anyone because that's what happens through sex. You bond with the woman. and now she has control over
That's
you.
backwards.
Don't bond with anybody? Is that what he's saying? Just be alone forever?
No, he was saying if you sleep with the woman, you bond with her, and sadly, the evidence is that it's the other way around.
Yes,
It's the
women
who
basically.
bond with-
Yes, yeah,
it's the women who bond with the men. It's
correct.
what he's got it in the complete reverse.
Well, he's thinking about it from the female perspective, and yeah, maybe that's just where that's how he sees it, you know. No, I totally disagree with Jesse on this one. He definitely has it all wrong.
And she has a love-hate thing going on with you because she know that you don't really care about her, so she hate that because you're weak. And then she know that if you stop doing it, she doesn't have control over you, because women, they love control, but they hate control. They need the man to be in order so that he can bring her out of the hell that she's living in. Women are living in hell because they live in their imagination and emotions, and there's nothing good about that. And they need their fathers to keep them out of there when they're little kids, and they need their husband to bring them completely out of it.
Jesse, where do you come up with this stuff? Women are living in hell? Like, you think all women are living in hell?
Yeah.
Might be why he has his preference, you know, for white guys.
Until they forgive their mother.
General.
Yeah, guys are just you know, they're more moldable, I guess, and more susceptible to sexual advances, whereas women, you know, they use sex as their control mechanism. So it's like he can't fool a woman, you know.
For turning them away from their fathers.
I mean, if he's using a woman's tactics, she's gonna see through that.
Yeah, exactly. Women are a lot more savvy in terms of like nonverbal communication. You know, they pick up on body language and, you know, everything, breathing, even the way you're breathing, you know, like they can notice a change in just the way that you're acting and stuff, and they can see it in your eyes, you know. And I'm sure Jesse is not that good at hiding his thoughts in his eyes, man. I'm sure.
You know, God said that we must be born, all people who are born of the flesh, all those who come through the woman are dying, but those who are born of the spirit of the Father are living. So we have to overcome that fallen nature of the woman and return to the living nature of the Father. And so all women and men are catching hell, but the hell come through the woman.
Yeah, but okay, so you said earlier that that the woman knows when you're having sex with her that you don't actually care about her. But what if you care about the woman? For example, I care about my girlfriend deeply, right? So would you say in a situation where you care about the girl, but you're not married, is it okay to have sex then?
If you care about her, you wouldn't have sex with her until you marry her. That way you can bring her into your world rather than going into her world. And women would prefer, I know women are like sluts now. Most women are sluts. And men are slut makers.
That's not the reason why you got married.
I just like the way he says sluts. He had Amber Rose on his show, and she was promoting the slut walk that was going on. And he's like, "So when did you become a slut?" He just kept saying it like that. And then she was like, "I don't know, I just kind of embraced it, whatever." And she's like, "But men are sluts too." And she's like, that's when he coined the term. He's like, "I'm not a slut." He's like, "Men aren't sluts." He's like, "I'm a slut maker." And you notice Myron stole that line, so now Myron is saying that now. And it's just funny how, like, I'm like, Myron, why are you taking points from Jesse Lee Peterson, you know? I was like, maybe you guys have a little bit more in common than I thought.
Jeez. I mean, the part of the original reason for marriage was outside of was making a family alliance, was to secure your bloodline.
Correct. Yeah, I don't remember the percentage of men that didn't get to secure their bloodline, that basically just died in a ditch somewhere, you know, and like their lineage died with them. I'm sure, you know, countless millions of people, you know, but
I mean, Camp, a lot of people can actually tie their bloodlines back to Genghis Khan because he was so successful. I've
heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that. I mean, like whole countries, pretty much. can like
Some
attribute their
country-
lineage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, cause the country doesn't exist anymore, but it used to border with China. I don't remember. I can't remember the name of the country specifically, but a lot of people in that country could tie at least their ancestors. A lot, like I think it was like 95% of the country could tie back to Attila the Hun. Country's gone now, but
yeah,
I remember hearing about that.
Busy men in high power, man, high places, dude. Just different.
there are even places in China where Attila the Hun is like when they started doing like the whole genealogy testing, it was like I'm related. I'm not a direct descendant of Attila the Hun, but he's in my tree.
Wow.
They don't talk about it, but it's true.
Pretty interesting, man.
Would rather wait until marriage, but and if the man truly loved her in the way that he should love her, he would wait until he married her and bring her into his world. But if you having sex with her before marriage, it's a sign of not loving her.
Yeah, that's just fundamentally not true that all women will prefer to wait until marriage to have sex. Only a very small percentage of women prefer that. The vast majority of women don't need to wait until marriage. They just want to have sex with a guy they feel comfortable with. So that's just like fundamentally not a true assumption that most women prefer to wait until marriage.
Well, it also depends on the woman too.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, he's in Miami and stuff, so I'm sure he's surrounded by that. But if he were to go somewhere in the Midwest or whatever, get around, a religious girl that goes to church every Sunday, I'm sure, he would probably get a little bit more of a resistance, a little bit of pushback.
It depends, because there are some girls who want to get buck wild, but they won't do it with anybody in their community, because then it's just going to get known and they don't want to do that.
Right.
I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, if she's honest with herself, she'll probably wait. But it's just how honest do you expect some people to be? And some are and some aren't. It's always going to be a hit and miss.
Correct.
Not true today, because most women are sluts today, and they know that sex is their strongest drug that they can use against the man, and they see how desperate the men are for sex, and so they're using their bodies. That's why they walk around half naked and these little tight.
The amount of generalization here, I'm gonna have a headache, Camp.
I told you, man. Okay, I want to get to the part where he asked him about the documentary. Let me see if I can find it, because he's gonna start. I think it's towards the end. Let me find the part where he rage quits. Yeah, it's gonna be right. Let me see if it's right about here. 41 minutes in.
Jeez.
It's gone. May their soul rest in peace, and you move on with life.
Jesse,
I have grandkids, great grandkids, right? And I enjoy hanging out with them. And
I think it's
she's dead now. She dead, but she the only thing that my mother did wrong, as most mothers do, is try to turn the children away from their fathers because of her jealousy. The worst thing that can happen to children for a woman, the mother, is for them to love their father over her. Mothers can't stand it when boys and girls love their fathers, so they'll turn them away, right? My mother did that, but other than that, everything was fine.
But your mother did try to turn you away from your father, right?
Yeah, she resented my father.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't like all women do. All women resent the children's father.
Wait, no, Jesse, hang on a second. Okay, this makes sense now. I think you're just projecting your experience, because my mother didn't do that. Most of the people I know, their mothers didn't do that. My mom wanted me to have a great relationship with my dad. So I think you're projecting what happened in your family just onto the world.
It happened to all families in one way or another. You just haven't paid attention to it to see. But
no,
I would say that is definitely the definition of projection. His worldview, the way it's so limited, is his own experience, and that's how he can really talk to a certain percentage of people that kind of get him, because people have similar experiences in his life. But there's a massive amounts of variations and stuff where, yeah, some kids, they have parents that get together, they separate amicably, and they still raise healthy children because they work together, you know? Like, there's none of this, like, resentment and, you know, mom, like, turning their children away from their fathers and stuff like that. Like, it's not like that at all, you know? It's just like the relationship didn't work out, but they still want to stay together or work together, be civil for the children. So, yeah, I definitely think this is projection on Jesse's part.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, hold on, we're getting closer.
It never happened in my family.
So what?
It never happened in my family.
That kind of thing, right? So they feel like they owe their mother something.
Hold on.
Same story everywhere. Every gender, every culture. Move on with your life and stay out of other people's business.
Hold
on. Definitely did not try to turn me against my dad or anything like that. Okay. I want to change gears a little bit. So I was doing a good amount of research about you, and this just kept coming up and up and up and up over and over again. And those are like the allegations. Like people kept saying, "Oh, Jesse, you know, had a scandal with this guy, with that guy." Why are there so many allegations against you?
If I were you, I would not get into gossip. That's a woman's nature. So I don't get into gossip.
It's not gossip.
It's like legitimate points that he wants to bring to him, and he's just like, that's a woman's nature. Well, he's like, you already know how I feel about women. Yeah, you see how he's deflecting though?
Yeah,
gossip.
He's like, this is gossip.
I wouldn't do that, right? Because people tell me things about you and other folks, but I tell them to go to the person and forgive them and move on with your life and stay out of other people's business.
Yeah, but it seems like there was just like so many people.
I don't care if the whole world did it. It doesn't matter.
But why are there so many people like coming out?
You have to go to them. I told you I'm not going to do that. So you're not going to pull me down that road. You talk to them if you want more information about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to ask you though.
And you said that you were not going to even ask me about this.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You said that when I wanted to talk.
See the gaslighting tactics? You said you were going to ask me about this. Like he's like, what?
To you about it, I'll let you know.
I never said that. I never said I was.
When I was on your show, were you was on my show?
No, we never had this discussion.
Yeah.
See the lies? He's trying so hard to weasel himself out of this. Whatever. He's like, no, remember we agreed you weren't going to talk about this.
But I'm not going to discuss it with you.
Okay.
Because it's not your business, first of all. And
ooh, a little sassy there, huh?
It wouldn't do you any good. It'll just make your ego, because it seemed that you love gossip, it will make your ego feel good, but it wouldn't do anything good for you.
No, but it kind of ties into the main argument. So my argument is that I think that you're cut off from your emotions and you become repressed. And it kind of makes sense that if you become very sexually repressed, that manifests in like really weird ways, right? Like you see this all the time in the Catholic Church. Like you see like all the priests who go like celibate for their whole life, and then they get into all these scandals, right? So I think that like that would totally make sense and explain why you feel the way you do and why you become so repressed.
Okay, if you want to believe that, there's nothing I can do about it. Believe what you want. You can't once a person believe a lie, you can't converse, you can't convince them that it's a lie. So believe what you want about that, man. I have no response to you for that.
So you would say all those people are
I just told you, do you hear me?
I'm trying to hear you. So you would say all those
people... You
don't
act like you hear me.
I'm definitely hearing you, bro.
I told you I'm not getting into gossip with you. You call them and ask them about if you love gossip, you're talking to the wrong person.
It just sounds like you're trying to deflect, Jesse. Oh, did he just drop off?
He ran away. So this isn't the first time that this has happened. This happened again with, I want to say, H3H3, Ethan Klein. He did a podcast with Jesse Lee Peterson, and it was very brief. And he grilled him on the same things, and it was a very short interview. Let me show you real quick. I think it's hold on. Yeah, this is it. Let me see. It takes a while before we actually get Jesse on here.
Wow.
Okay, right here.
It's feeding you lines. How did you meet Moses?
He came to my office.
To do what?
Hold on.
15%. Is that better than 100%? Jesse, don't make it seem like I'm bringing it up out of nowhere. You talk about gayness all the time.
I talk about everything all the time.
Well,
my show is about whatever. My radio show is about whatever the people call in for. And the farthest state, we deal with different issues.
Can you
but do you have like, are you able to move on because of time? Do you have like...
No, I have all the time in the world, but I understood you only had an hour, right?
Right, and I'm talking about my time.
So how much time do you have left?
And the gay thing is a rare topic on my show.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You're not gay, right?
That's not your business.
Oh. But you make the gayness a lot of people's business when you...
You know what? It would be so easy to just say no, right? Instead of saying it's not your business.
Jeez, can't.
I'm just saying. If it's not... it's like... He doesn't want to deny it. He just wants to say it's not your business.
I don't. I make it no one's business. Do you want to act like a man?
Do you live in hell?
Do you want to act?
Do you live in
like
hell?
A man, or do you want to? Hey, look. I put aside my time. I thought you wanted to deal with issues to help folks.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I don't want to play the woman's game with you.
So, well, let me ask you this, because I know
Do you have any other topic? One last time. You can talk to your brother-in-law Moses about this, and he'll help you deal with that and overcome it.
Jesse, why did you like this? Why did you like this tweet by Your Daddy OnlyFans?
Or forgive your mother.
Oh.
Forgive your mother. And she
my
will.
God.
Jesse, why did you like this post from Your Daddy OnlyFans, part 2 with Sean Boy UK?
I have no idea.
It's two men kissing.
I have no idea.
And they're muscular and very bear-like.
They really think that you're like running a Twitter and stuff. Like,
yeah, I have no idea.
Really? Wait, why wouldn't you be running your Twitter?
So why did you?
You really think he would?
Are you?
Why
Is
do
the
you think
producer?
he is? What makes you think he is?
Oh, so did you like it? Yeah, did you like it? Are you gay?
I don't know anything. I have no idea.
Bro thought he was cooking
Well,
right
Jesse,
there.
this is important. The people want to know.
Let me.
Your producer got real quiet. What did he like the gay porn?
Self-report.
It was one of you two. Someone fess up.
They're hanging up.
Someone fess up.
That's what you want me to do, so you can say I ran. But you guys said you wanted to talk about real stuff.
This is real, man.
Jesse,
this is a real tweet that was liked.
Jesse, an expose by the Daily Beast, they said that several men had sexual encounters with you, some as long as 10 years. Is that true?
Say hello to Moses, buddy. I'm out.
All right.
Was your producer? Oh, he hung up.
All right.
Well, you tried.
That was funny.
He runs every time, dude. So, I mean, there you go. It's like the weird hypocrisy. The last thing I'm going to show you, we got like one last clip and then we can close this out. This was Jesse Lee Peterson talking to Destiny. I'm sure you're familiar with Destiny, all right?
I don't like Destiny, to be honest with you, Cam.
You might not like Destiny. Well, okay, if you don't like that one, well, no, you gotta watch this one. This is where you've seen the beta thing, right?
Yeah, I've heard.
You've heard of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you don't need to watch it. Then if you've already seen it, then I'll show you this one. I think it's DC. Yeah, this is the one. This is the last one, and this is like I'm gonna skip ahead. Oh, actually, hold on. Yeah. This is it.
Tan, you know what that means?
Hold on, let me find it.
She can have a say so, and
hold on, let me find the from here.
I was dating this girl when I was 19, and she got pregnant, and we were going to get married. But in those days, it was an embarrassment for black men and women to have babies out of wedlock. And so I came to California to get an apartment, get a job in an apartment. Her mother made her get married to another man before I could get back, and that's why I didn't end up marrying her. But I would have married her because in those days we knew it was the right thing to do, and I was going to do it because it was.
So you hurt?
No, I was hurt when it happened because I didn't want my son to be raised without me because I know what that's like.
Did you raise him?
Yeah, I helped raise him as much as I can. You know how women are.
I know. So after that, you were 19 because you look older now. I know you far from 19.
Yeah.
You didn't decide to meet another woman and try to do it the right way?
Yeah, I was engaged twice, but you know how women
I think the problem is you,
try to control you?
You got engaged twice and you still ain't get married.
Would you let a woman control you?
What you mean? She probably want to control you. She just kept telling you, I'm not with that
Would you
stupid
let?
shit
I'm
you
asking
talking.
you. Would you let a woman control you?
Ooh.
You.
No, but I will let a woman have a say so.
But you won't let her control you?
What you mean? If it's for the better of, if it helps better me?
So you would let a woman control you?
Not controlling. She can have a say so. That is some type of control.
Over you?
There's a difference.
She can have a say so over you.
Over, no. She can have a say so. This is called respect. This is what I'm trying to tell you about respect. This is why shit don't get done because people don't have respect for other people's opinions.
Can she have a control over you? Would you allow that to happen?
She can have a say so, and I respect her opinion because if it's right, then I'm going to take in heed and bring it into my life. You see what I'm saying? This is like if your wife was to say something and be like, no, baby, you don't need to do that. You need to do that. She's not controlling you. She's just saying this is something that can better you. And if you're naive enough to not listen to your wife, then that's your dumb ass.
Amazing. We're running out of time, so I have a few more things I want to ask.
You really want to, but you really need to be married, but you need to go see somebody.
Let me ask you this. There's a crisis in America today with fatherless kids. Have you noticed that? And what
fatherless?
Do you think?
Say that shit again.
Like
one more
the kids
time.
don't have fathers in America today.
Now say fatherless one more time, because you said fatherless. I don't know what the hell fatherless.
Are you concerned about that crisis? Have you noticed that there is a crisis concerning that?
What? I don't know about no crisis. I know a lot of great mothers that raise their kids. My mother raised me.
So you don't see it as a crisis?
It's not a crisis. I just feel like you should just pay attention to who you sleep with.
Why do you think a lot of men...
You should have paid attention to who you slept with.
No, why do you think a lot of men...
Because her mama damn sure stabbed you in the back.
Why do you think
her mama, this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is my woman. What are you talking about?
Why do you think a lot of black...
This is the part here.
So when you come back to town in a month, right?
Right.
I have some of them here, the men and women that we have.
I got you, bro. I got you. We helping everybody, bro.
My final question.
Talk to me.
Did you have fun?
I did.
Hold on.
I'm glad you came.
Hold on. I got the one that because that one was a good one, but hold on. I gotta find. This is the last one. I promise you. It's this one here. It is. No. Where is it? Oh, it was Jesse Peterson, and it was by. I think it was Poetic Flacco. I think Poetic Flacco did another one, and it was the one where he was crying. Yeah, this is it. He gets cooked on his own show.
Jesse Lee Peterson just got absolutely destroyed and exposed on his own podcast. Before the video even gets started, I want to put y'all onto the best money.
I seen a clip of him talking, but I didn't actually see the whole thing.
Yeah. So this is the one where he asks the guy about the blacks. Okay, so this is where he starts acting a little coonery. This is the thing I was trying to talk about earlier.
Get started. Jesse was interviewing this dude called TK Coleman. They labeled him as a Christian minimalist, whatever that means. But the interview started off pretty normal. Like, dude was actually engaging with Jesse Lee questions and answering them as if they were good faith questions, giving a lot of thought to the questions. And then he quickly realized that this is not a normal interview. Jesse Lee is a ridiculous human being. These questions are ridiculous. And then he began to answer the questions for exactly what they were, which is ridiculous questions.
What's wrong with the blacks?
What's wrong with the blacks? Like Black Fridays?
What?
Black Fridays? It's a scam, man. It plays off people's FOMO by creating an artificial sense of scarcity.
I don't understand.
You asked what's wrong with the blacks, right?
Right.
I'm saying I've never liked Black Fridays.
You don't like the black people?
Oh, black people, my bad. I'm black and I'm slow, man.
No, you answered it correctly the first time. A question like that shouldn't be met with any type of seriousness. Dude is a troll. He's like a race baiter, and he basically tries to get a reaction out of people, but he's been doing this for so long that people have now understand like his parlor tricks and like how to answer the questions around him and not give him the answer that he's looking for. It's actually pretty brilliant. Really bad race baiter. Because, the first 10 years, people weren't really familiar with him. So, he used to get the reactions he wanted. But as of lately, bruh, the numbers don't respect no sellout. Because if you will sell out your own people, what makes them think you'll be loyal to them?
Yeah, what's wrong with the blacks?
I think about something that's said in a book of Ecclesiastes that I think addresses this, where he says, I've observed a great tragedy under the sun. I've seen slaves riding around on horseback, and I've seen princes walking about on foot as if they were slaves. And he's identifying the tragedy of a people not knowing who they are. If I had to give an answer to the question of what's wrong with the blacks, as you say, I would say we don't know who we are. And in order to know who we are, we must return to our creator. And it's only with that knowledge of self that we can walk empowered.
And yo, dumbass gonna answer that question too as if it's a serious question. Yo, bro really sat there and gave Jesse Lee a profound, thought-provoking answer. Bro, you're sitting down with a 70-year-old troll. Jesse probably don't even understand 90% of the words you used in that sentence, bro. Jesse is a developmentally delayed, mentally disabled 70-year-old troll. You wasting your time by bringing up Dr. King quotes and this quote, man. But Jesse couldn't.
Do you believe that does racism exist?
Depends what you mean.
Do you believe racism exists?
Depends what.
This is the part I was telling you about. This is where he likes to hammer questions at his guests. He'll hammer the same question, and if they're smart enough, they'll rephrase the question and get him to define his terms. But for Jesse, he just keeps hammering the same question because he's not smart enough to see what's happening. It's so funny.
What you mean?
Does racism exist?
Depends what you mean.
I'm sorry?
Depends what you mean.
It was just a question.
And I'm just stating a qualification for the question.
So you believe racism exists or not?
It depends.
On what?
What do you mean by racism?
It depends on what?
It depends on how you're using the word racism.
Well, I'm not. I'm just asking the question.
Are you telling me you don't know what you mean when you say the word racism?
Right now, it's just a question. And I'm asking you, do you believe that racism exists?
Right. It's a question that you're asking.
Yeah, does racism exist?
And in order to ask the question, you're using words. And those words are an expression of your thoughts. And since I don't know I can't read your mind, I'm asking you to tell me what the words you're choosing to use mean. Are you unwilling to do that? Or
so let me just ask, does racism exist?
What do you mean by racism?
So let me ask this. Amazing. I want to put you on the hot seat because of time. They're giving me the time here. I want to put you on the hot seat. I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
Okay. Right. Do you want me to give some thoughts about the nature of race in America?
Well, it doesn't seem like you know what it is or even what it means. So
I know that it's a word that gets used in different ways by different people. If you ask someone on the political right what racism is, you're going to get a totally different answer than if you ask somebody on the left. And I think you at least know that. So,
but I'm only asking you, I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you if you believe that racism exists. Does racism exist?
And I'm not sure what's so difficult or controversial about me asking a man what he means by the words that he uses. Are you unwilling to do that?
Sir, Jesse reads at a second grade reading level. Of course he's unwilling to, because he don't know how to articulate what racism is. He just doesn't. The reason why
he's been a puppet for so long, he doesn't even understand his own talking points. He's just been regurgitating the same talking points for more than 10, 20 years. And it's hilarious when somebody finally comes to him and is like, well, can you define your terms? And he can't. It's just so funny. He just keeps doing the same thing. It's so funny, dude.
Placeholders have had Jesse in a position he's currently in for a while now. It's because, bro, Jesse has no shame. Jesse is willing to say whatever it takes to get that check, bro. Like,
let me ask you this. Yeah. What do you think about the attack upon white people in America? They are being blamed for everything, especially white man. And then there's a genocide happening upon white people. They're being robbed, raped, murdered, knocked out in the streets, and businesses being robbed and everything. What do you think about the genocide upon whites in America?
Genocide?
Genocide, dude.
That's virtually impossible if you consider the population of the United States is still over 70% Caucasian.
But when Jesse asks a question, he just expects you to give a black and white answer. Just give him a straight answer. Don't try to get him to requalify the question because even though it's a false premise, he will try to get you to still walk down that road. And it's just like, if you're smart, like this guy here, he's really smart and he's like not giving him an inch. It's great.
I'm pretty picky and precise with my use of that term.
Of genocide?
Yeah. I have no conception of the word genocide that would apply to any race in America.
I know a few people who actually believe that. I don't, but still.
Well, I think they would equate it to, like race mixing and stuff is kind of like the genocide of like, you're not continuing on, the Caucasian white line or whatever, like just, because there's a lot of race mixing basically going on, So they're saying white people, we need to have more white babies, basically. Jesse Lee Peterson has said these exact words. He's like, we need to have more white babies. And I mean, call him a puppet, whatever. But I just think that it shouldn't be coming from him to say that.
I mean, American ideology is dying, that's for sure. But you're not going to breed out a section of the human race in 100 years. You could probably do it in at least, off the top of my head, maybe 500 years.
Yeah, just not in our lifetime. Not something that we should be concerned about. But
there's no way it's going to happen in our lifetime. Cam.
Jesse Lee Peterson is very concerned about that happening in our lifetime. Which is why he asked the question, because he's really, really worried. He doesn't want to live in a world where there's no white people,
Yeah, just to do what he's saying, you would literally have to have every major population in the United States, excluding the Caucasian people, and then just have them go on a rampage. And even then, it's not going to work out because, good chunks of the military are Caucasian. And if you have a population that just suddenly goes violent and it won't stop, the kill order will not be given a kill order like that would not be given lightly. But there would be those who would treat it as, what the heck? And they'd be like, what the heck? And then they'd use the justification that, let's say they kill all of us. Are they going to kill each other next?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, there's pretty much nowhere to go after that,
Yeah. So it's not. So a kill order would be issued, but it would not be a happy one.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of a false reality that he's trying to paint in terms of these questions. And when he asks these things, I mean, a lot of this stuff is what if, but still to even try to like entertain these ideas, it's just like, you couldn't have me as a guest on this show because I would be like, dude, that would never happen in this reality, man. It's, like the stuff that he likes to propose,
Camp, it wouldn't happen in our lifetime. In our like great grandchildren's, if our bloodline ever extends that far, they might see that, but
it's very doubtful. If anything, people are gonna mix even more with each other, and it's just gonna be. I don't even think it's gonna be about race. It's gonna be about classism and the rich and the poor, the have and have-nots. And I think
the sad part is that classism is actually our biggest problem right now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, and then I think that's kind of that's going to be the major separation, and, those children will learn about, the racism and stuff like that and how it was so, meaningless, and so pointless, it's like,
I mean,
it's going to actually kind of look a little bit silly, probably even,
Yeah. I mean, Camp, they don't even teach about the Arab slave trade in history books.
No, it's true. And actually, I did hear that they were going to try to erase the entire history of slavery, like to be taught in schools, because they just like they don't want to keep perpetuating the I guess the anger, or I guess the anger that black people have and the white guilt that white people have. They don't want to perpetuate that anymore. So they're like, maybe we just take it out of the curriculum and we talk about something else,
That's That's the stupidest way to deal with it.
I agree.
The smartest way to deal with it would not only show that black people were enslaved, but also, Rome enslaved almost everybody. They enslaved Egyptians. They enslaved. Oh, geez.
No, it's true. I
Just off
mean,
the top of my head, they enslaved Egyptians. They enslaved what we now would call the Greeks. They enslaved Britons. They enslaved what would be now what we call nowadays the Franks, but they called them Gauls. And then they enslaved the Gauls, the Celts. Rome enslaved almost everybody they could get their hands on. And this was before the empire fell apart in the east and the west.
but it's important to know this stuff, in my opinion, just like it's important to know cursive, I think, but I think that them doing away with that is another, detriment, because now you're gonna have a bunch of kids that can only swipe and type, and text or whatever. They're not gonna be able to sign their name.
Having good calligraphy. I met a black supervisor at my job years ago. His calligraphy was freaking top notch, Camp. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it was. It was the stuff you would see out of a book. I'm like, holy crap, dude, that's awesome. Everyone around it was who he showed was like, damn, dude, that's impressive.
Yeah, my father was an architect for about 15 years, and he used to write all the time in like Old English. He had calligraphy pens and stuff, and yeah, dude, it looked like freshly printed. Like it was something out of like a newspaper or an article or something like that. Like it was just so perfect, so precise. And, I see people online doing like little calligraphy TikToks and stuff like that. And it's pretty damn impressive, but it's a lost art. It's like something that you have to really dedicate a lot of your time to. And the fact that they're not teaching kids like how to do that anymore, it's like it's going to kind of just be bred out of them. They're not going to they're going to have to like go online if they want to learn how to do it, on their own, because the schools aren't trying to focus on it anymore. And now they're trying to also take away just that portion of history that is not really too flattering to the African people, and
they're not even gonna teach about how the nobility in medieval Europe basically had their own slave plantations through the serf process.
Right.
If
anything, if any approach that they take, they're probably going to just move it up 100 years to where like they leave that in the past and they just only focus on, I guess like the industrial age or something like that,
Yeah, Camp, even in India, the Untouchables, that was basically another form of slave caste too.
Right. That's the thing. You're not going to get away from it, but I think the fact is that they don't want to, I guess, solely focus on the transatlantic slave trade. It's to me, I think all history, regardless of if it is like, I don't think history is supposed to be like this fun thing, it's just supposed to be very informational, and I think the more the better you can move forward. And
they don't even talk about what the Ottoman Empire did. And the thing that was actually crazy about that was the Ottomans didn't care who they grabbed.
Yeah.
They didn't care if they were raiding down the South Horn of Africa or they were sieging city-states. Well, let's see. City-states in Greek were still there, but they weren't really unified after... who was it? Philip of Macedonia, that's it. Because after Philip of Macedonia died, Greece split back into city-states, but they were never really as strong. And Sparta was gone, which basically meant that Greece's, chief warriors that could have joined with the other city-states was gone. So you had the Ottoman Turks going through and they would raid Greece, and with Greece, that was a particular sore spot. Then they also went around the South Horn of Africa, raided there. Granted, they couldn't go that deep because of the diseases that were there at the time, but still they tried.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually study the history of slave trade, you know, it's far more class than it was ever about, I want to own another human being because I feel powerful. It was always more about the, I am on my throne and everything before me is beneath me, and you are the lowest, and you will serve, and your family will serve.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, that's basically what goes on in North Korea.
Yeah, they've kind of been in their own little insulated bubble in terms of their. I remember they were even on their own calendar year for the longest time.
Yeah.
You know, they're just keeping everybody shut out from their own civilization. You know,
I mean, last time I heard anything, they're expecting North Korea to fall apart in the next 40 years because they just don't have the population.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you cut yourself off from the rest of the world, man. It's kind of wild. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I do appreciate we've actually gone right at 4 hours, man. So not bad. I do appreciate Teen Toast with Ghost coming out to the stream, helping me out here, helping me get through this light topic show. I do appreciate you always coming through. If you would mind, let us know what you're working on, what we can expect from you next.
All right. As usual, the Sunday live stream is tomorrow. Tomorrow may be the last video for Warhammer 40k. The story is not long. It's good, but it's not long. Beyond that, next video, I need to get it reviewed before I actually do anything else. So that's almost done, and then I will be jumping onto my next project. And if you want me to spoil that topic, I will.
Let's just say, guys, go check out Teen Toast with Ghost channel and subscribe to him so you guys can be up to date with whatever he's doing. And yeah, you don't have to spoil it here. I'll just leave him wanting more. Let's go with that. But no, again, I appreciate you coming out. Always a pleasure, man. To all of the hustlers and all of the new people that came to the stream, I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys next week, and hopefully have some more topics, stuff to talk about. And yeah, we can all hang out. So yeah, so I guess that's it, man. I hope you have a good night, good weekend, and I'll probably see you on your stream, Ghost.
All right. See you later, Camp. Have a good night. Get some rest, because I need to get some too.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you do tune in tomorrow. It'd be great.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. So you guys have a good night, Ghost, and everybody else, you guys have a good night. This is Camp Hustle 1.
Have a good night, everyone.
Out. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night, Camp.
Peace.
Camp Hustle 1, squad moves like a freight train. Streaming live Saturdays, no need for a campaign. Cook Benny in the chat, spitting heat uncontained. Haters lurking in the shadows, they ain't built for this terrain. Covers dropping gems, wisdom sharper than a blade. Exo Charles in the mix, got the whole game amazed. Taking souls for free, no invoice, no delays. Debating Sonic, spitting logic, making waves. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight. Commentary live, no script, just pure flair. Every bar a dagger, leaving doubters in despair. This ain't just a hustle, it's a kingdom we declare. Building brick by brick, we ain't folding under glare. Hank Russell in the cut, breaking bread, trading thoughts. While they talk trash, we strategize and plot. Every stream a canvas, every word a stroke of art. We out here taking names, pulling strings, playing smart. Hustlers unite every Saturday night. We shine bright, got the spotlight in sight. Live stream flames, haters take flight. Chopping it with Hank, keep the vibe airtight.